night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
The whole system is designed to disconnect you from your intuition. Why? Disconnected people are easy to manipulate. Everything from sunscreen to politics to the food industry. It's all designed to disconnect and manipulate you. We are in the middle of a war right now, but it's not a traditional war. It's a war on consciousness. It's a war on freedom. This is the time to listen, not to the news. No, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Love is the greatest weapon against darkness. How do you love more? You begin by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? You listen to the messages your body is telling you.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
So one of my favorite stories is in a mother's womb where two babies, and one turns to the other and says, "Do you believe in life after delivery?" And the other replies, "Why, of course, there has to be something after delivery. Maybe we're here to prepare ourselves for what will be later." "Nonsense," said the first. "There's no life after delivery. What kind of life would that be?" "I don't know," said the second, "but there'll be more light than here. Maybe we'll walk with our legs and eat with our mouths. Maybe we'll have other senses we can't understand now." First goes, "That's ridiculous. Walking is impossible, and eating with our mouths, that's absurd. The umbilical cord is what scientifically supplies nutrition and all that we need, but it's far too short. Life after delivery is to be logically excluded." And the second says, "What if it's just different than it is here? Maybe we don't need that physical cord anymore." The first goes, "Okay, if there were life after delivery, then tell me, why has no one ever come back from there? Delivery is the end of life, and in the after delivery is nothing but darkness and silence and oblivion. It takes us nowhere." And the second says, "But certainly we'll meet Mother, and she'll take care of us." The first goes, "Mother? You actually believe in Mother? If Mother exists, where is she now?" And the second goes, "She's all around us. We are of her. It is in her that we live. Without her, this world would not and could not exist." And the first says, "I don't see her. It's only logical that she's not here." To which the second replied, "Sometimes, when you're in silence and you really listen, you can perceive her presence. You can hear her loving voice calling down from above."
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number one, never trust anybody.
I am struggling extremely with mental health issues, and I am trying to do that whilst being FTFE. And unfortunately, talking to flat earthers is quite painful.
Riverside, wait for me, I'll be coming home.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
Now let me see you Now drop it to the flow, drop it to the flow then. Now lean in.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you live from my, well, it was a dining room. Now it's a studio and a catch-all room. So that's where we're coming to you live from. Something Wong has this week off, and my co-hosts seem to have 4 legs and a lot of fur. So that being said, we got a lot of good people in the audience already tonight. I can see we got 49 over here. Let me see what we got. 3 over on the Rumble side. All right. Well, at least we got some on the Rumble side. And it looks like who we got here. Maryland. We are the aliens. Okay. J.R. Hartley is here with us. Brad and Tasha, one or both, or either way, we're glad to have them with us. Eldon Bean is with us. Jehovah's lovely daughter, Barbara. Edwin Johnson, Spyro Graffiti, LJ Saddlebum. All right. Who else we got in here? Did I see? The next chapter is with us tonight. Jehovah's lovely daughter, Barbara. Good to see you. THC, what's up, Mike? You missed the dwarf wrestling this year. Quite a saga that took place at that thing. Met some really interesting characters in the audience out there. You would have loved it. The entire trailer park was there. Let's see who else we got. I think I've called out just about everybody's name that I've seen so far. I don't know. People are still piling in. We're up to 59 now. Who did I miss? Nobody yet, but we'll give you shout outs as we go. Backstage, we got Old Me No More and D-Man. I'm going to bring them up. Old Me No More has something he wants to suggest that I think might be interesting to everybody. So let me bring him on up on the stage. Here we go. What's going on, guys? You're muted, Old Me No More.
What's up, Saab? How you doing? It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. It's been a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Hey, what's up, D-Man?
Go right ahead. After you, Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Real quick, let me just show you something. I thought this was funny as hell. I just started laughing. This guy was so crazy. This is bad.
Yeah. Good catch.
I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a slithery little sneaky snake.
He wanted to get caught by that babe. What's up? Oh my God. Anyway. So what do you got going on, Old Me No More? What was the let's see, it said something about I want to propose an idea that could expose the true motives of the big channels while also potentially flooding YouTube with FE. Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear
All
it.
right, man.
Theory.
So recently, Vlad started promoting his subs and getting them to make channels. And so we got RG with the channel now and Justin Johnson with the channel now. Justin Johnson went live today. And I was thinking, with David Weiss watches this show, and he has 107,000 subscribers. And Mark Sargent, and there's all these big channels with lots and lots of subscribers. Why don't we kind of get them to try to do the same thing? You know, they could reach a lot more people. And if they were able to get, let's say, 50 to 100 people to start making channels, that would be a lot of different angles of attack. And it's, you know, it's possible to shill out 20 celebrity channels, but if you have 1,000 little channels, that's a lot of loose ends, and I don't think they could shill them out. So it could like break through the algorithm.
It would be an amplification of what we've been seeing in chat.
Yeah, we would have strength in numbers.
Yeah. But the whole thing is this: it's like you got to be careful. It's not a mission to convert people or anything else like that. You can't make someone, you know, it's the whole thing. You can't make someone believe something. You have to let them come to it on their own. And one of the things that I like to do is I ask questions like, why do you think it's a globe? What did you do? Did you discover that the earth was a globe and then later on went to school and found out that you were right? Or if you'd never been told that it was a globe, what would make you even go into that direction of thought? And they have an honest person will say, well, nothing. I would never get to go to that. Well, there you go. There's part of it right there.
You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
That's exactly it right there. And that's why you have such a problem when these people come on all adversarial acting about it rather than curious and open-minded. They're already coming into it with the affirmation to themselves that it is a globe, and whatever is told to them to the contrary is bullshit. They've already come into it that way, not let me weigh the evidence. Let me look at it from a non-biased standpoint. It's really hard to get that out of people. And that goes right back to what the Jesuits said, that if you give me a child by the age of 5, he will belong to the church forever. That's your hardwiring years. Oh, Lord, when do they send you to school? At 5. So that's the thing. Yeah, it's just, I think it would more exposure, because one of the biggest tools that they've used in the censorship is the shadow banning.
Can I say, Greg, give a great example?
Yeah.
We had the show last week, so I put on the last show we had on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds after that show was done, the United Nations put a listing underneath it about climate change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right.
Yeah, I got a little thing about that here today too. Listen, there's some big shit going on. The stuff just a little while ago in this Ukraine-Russia war is really heating up hard right now. Really heating up hard. I guess Ukraine launched a bunch of drone strikes on Moscow. And the way they're reporting it said that the Russians are preparing for a disproportionate retaliation.
Oh, yeah.
And my wife and I were talking about that, and she goes, why do they have to put it disproportionate? Shouldn't that go without saying? You know, the way they're looking at it, well, you've killed 5 of our guys, so we're going to kill 5 of your guys. No. You killed 5 of my guys. I'm going to kill all of your guys. That's how you do it. That's why the Blitzkrieg was so freaking effective. They didn't just go in and needle at them. They just went in with everything. We called it shock and awe when we did it. But that's the thing, an overwhelming response. That's what you need to do. That shuts them down quick as hell. That's why in a fight, I've never been one of those where I'm pushing back and forth. As soon as that first push comes, I'm laying that son of a bitch down. That's it. I'm not here to talk to you.
I'm a bad fighter because I'm not going to play nice.
No.
I'm going to stop it, and that no matter what I'm going to have to do to stop it, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And that's why I almost never fight.
Well, I've been able to, you want to try to not fight, but if you come into a situation where you have to,
then
strike first and strike hard.
Hope you got insurance.
Yep. Because that's it. I'm gonna mash your eyes shut. That's all there's gonna be to it, you know. But yeah, the best way to do it is to avoid it. But if you can't avoid it, strike hard and strike fast. Yeah. And look, we got the new civil coalition. Mr. Porter is up here tonight with us. How you doing?
What's up? How y'all doing today?
Hello.
Yes. Lighters are flickering.
Lighters are flickering.
On this end.
Did you hear anything about that with the attack?
I did.
Not yet. That's my eyes were like glued to the screen when you mentioned that. I was like,
now, regardless, this is I've got it from other places too, and this one here just happened to be Alex Jones, but the information checks out.
Okay.
NATO knows that Trump is very close to securing a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia, and so today they ramped up drone attacks against Russian nuclear bombers, military bases, and trains and other facilities at a level unprecedented. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of drones, clearly directed by NATO communications guidance systems. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the most dangerous point yet we've been at in this war. because NATO wants to escalate this and wants to see Putin respond even more than he did a week and a half ago to the doubling of drone attacks that Ukraine has launched last month. And so while Zelensky for the Western media talks about peace, he's all over Ukrainian television. Go to the Drudge Report, you can see the articles bragging about these unprecedented attacks. And this is the globalist want to continue to have control over the world narrative and to derail Trump's peace initiative, where we're winning via economics, we're winning via soft power. America's coming back from the dead, and the globalists are trying to stand in the way of this right now. So pray for peace.
You muted.
Oh, that is so crazy.
You know, I mean, I'm sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
I think it's an act of treachery on Trump's part. I don't think it's globalist at all. I think he's completely in on it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I'm trying to do peace, but these unseen forces are the ones that are doing. Come on, man.
That's right.
Unseen forces, my ass. You know who's doing what, bro?
That's right.
Well, in a way, if you look at it, that could go both ways, because a leftist started that crap, and the leftists are still supporting it. So I don't think in a way he could basically say, hey, I don't care either way.
But in reality, is there really a left and a right?
Right.
There isn't.
Yeah.
They're all the same hand, man.
Yep. Left wing, right wing, same.
Right, you can
double-headed
take
phoenix.
it on that left-right paradigm shit, but come on, man, they're all working in conjunction with each other.
Yeah, there's a possibility on that too.
I mean, it's everybody out here wants to believe that there's this battle going on between Democrats and Republicans. No, that's a show for you.
Yeah, globalists.
That keeps you discreet. Yeah, globalists. When he says globalist, he's talking about small hats.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is such thing as a technocrat, though. I do want to say there is a technocrat that now exists. We all know who they are, too.
Yeah.
So,
well, the same problems we're having, the rest of the world is having in their own countries.
Yeah.
Right.
Different.
Well, I think, and also Elon, he's kind of dismayed with the White House. He's left that cabal, I guess, because of Trump giving all that support to Palantir and their AI data center shit. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's all just like you're just watching a glorified edition of Dallas. You know, it's basically what you got going on.
yes, my brother.
Who shot JR? Who gives a fuck?
As the world turns.
yes, as the stomach churns.
As the stomach. And he doesn't even look like himself anymore, Sav.
No. I don't. You know, there's been some speculation that that's not even really him.
It don't even look. He's probably in a man suit or something. They can do stuff with. Yeah. Have you seen the Tyler Perry up close images? Dude, you got to pull one up and then look at his eyes, and you tell me if he's real. Just look at any Tyler Perry image up close. If you can blow it up on the screen, and you tell me if that's some type of latex suit or that's really him. I'm just saying they can do stuff with latex now, Saab, that will blow your mind. Blow your mind.
Somebody says he's changed a lot. He's Brad Tasha says he's definitely changed big time. And
Pebble said he was on Ozempic.
He ate too many of them boner pills he sells, I think, man.
Maybe testosterone. It's probably on testosterone.
No, Pebble said that he may be on Ozempic, Sav.
Oh, and he doesn't know that that's lizard venom? Holy crap.
Oh, no. I know, that's the thing. You know, it's...
People don't realize that. Once you tell them that, they say, yeah, I was obviously having a problem with my diabetes because of the fact that my Gila monster venom down, you know? What?
That's right.
I got to admit though, I worked with a guy who was real heavy set. I saw him a year later and he was down 100 pounds. And I asked him, dude, what happened? What'd you do? Are you sick or something? And he was like, no. He said, the doctor put me on testosterone replacement therapy. And he did a similar thing like this guy is looking. That's why when I saw the reports about that, that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, they're putting stuff in all kinds. I wouldn't trust none of it nowadays.
Yeah,
well, it's like with these people taking that Ozempic, but yeah, look, it helps you lose weight. Well, shit. So does, you know, go get AIDS. AIDS Jesus Christ. A good meth addiction will do the trick, I'll tell you.
Oh.
Huh?
It kills parasites too, though. I'm telling you. No, I'm
Yeah. Did you know they had a candy in the 70s and 80s called AIDS, AIDS?
Yes, it was a weight loss appetite suppressant.
Yeah. It was a chocolate that you ate.
Yeah.
Like a
Wow.
Yeah, they had another one too. It was just like it. Their competitor was a thing called figurines.
Wow.
And yeah, they were appetite suppressant.
Yeah. Were they shaped like an octagon?
No, they were little square candies, like a square piece of
Yeah, they
chocolate.
were like a little cube, like
Yeah.
almost like a little cube.
Okay.
You remember what was the laxative that you used to take? Was the chocolates?
X-Lax.
X-Lax. It looked like X-Lax. The
Yeah.
little squares.
Right on.
Oh, that stuff you take that shit, you can shit through a screen door and never hit a wire.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Many parents had to figure
I'm
out.
telling you, it makes you have convulsions.
Many parents.
through your rectile.
Let's let Alex finish his thing here.
Now, this is
Alex?
not Trump behind this escalation. He wants a de-escalation. This is the Northern group. That's the majority of NATO countries that formed this new alliance. And they had promised they were going to do this. And just last week, NATO and the EU said they're going to take full restrictions off long-range bombing with their missiles all over Russia. And so we are officially at war with Russia. Even Kellogg, the head U.S. envoy to Ukraine, General Kellogg, said we are at war with Russia. That's why this needs to stop. Russia knows it. We know it. This proxy war is boiling over and it's totally insane. I am begging everyone out there to understand that the globalist system is collapsing right now. And the only way they can try to maintain control is a new world war. And we're already in that right now. And all the war games lead right towards thermonuclear war and Armageddon. So for all the crazies out there, all the leftists that love evil and love war and everything else, you're getting what you want right now. And I predict we're going to see a massive response from the Russians. And the corporate media will say, look, they're attacking Ukraine for no reason. NATO started the war. They overthrew the governments of Ukraine.
Yep.
They did all of this. They brag about it, for God's sakes. And finally, the Trump administration comes out yesterday and admits all that and says we need to stop this. And now this happens.
Yeah.
This is NATO and the EU trying to keep us in this war. And it is psychotic. It is flirting with planetary suicide. That's the facts.
Planetary suicide.
Did you see Macron gets wife slap him when the door on the plane opened? And he turned around and acted like nothing happened and waved at the camera.
She knew the cameras were there too.
Yeah, there's no way, man. There is no way. It's like, and did you see when she was walking out down the steps of the plane with Macron? Her legs are like this big around.
I'd rather be single.
All the way up, man.
Yeah, and these wide shoulders.
Yeah, she looks like a Tim Burton character, you know?
That's wild.
Oh, speaking of wild, here, I got to show you this. AI is out of control. And what are they actually conveying with this? This is crazy. Look at this.
What the heck? That's pure evil, dog. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a hamburger.
Self-consumption, man.
Yeah, it's a helper. It's a hamburger eating a hamburger.
Oh, my God. Oh, that is just weird.
It's disturbing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stop that AI stuff.
I don't even know if I should look at it. Just saying.
You can't unsee it now, Howard.
I know. I'm not even looking no more.
Oh, there's a good one.
I'm a seasoned artist. I do multiple art pieces daily, and when I see stuff like that, it's like really riveting for me.
Great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know, man. I don't even know where to go with that.
It's not going to sell burgers, that's for sure.
Oh my, no.
Okay, so you know this shit about Biden being an actor, that it's not the real Joe Biden and everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, okay.
Trump put out on Truth Social today that Biden was executed in 2020.
2020, I saw that.
He said that?
Yeah.
For real? Wow.
I mean, look
That's
at the
some Q-tard stuff, though. You do know that.
well, look at the pictures of Joe Biden from 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know. He does
It
have more.
ain't him,
face.
obviously.
The old one was more pointed and squared off. His earlobe was not connected to the side of his face. It was rounded.
His head is different. Everything about it, the size and the dimensions.
Yes.
Those
Oh,
are not
yeah.
going to change no matter how old you get.
Yeah, you're right. That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I remember
You actually get more defined in your jaw structure, and everything just becomes really, really defined. I believe. And
There's a few videos you can watch where somebody did a facial scan of pictures of him and then said, this other guy, this ain't Joe Biden.
That's
you can't
right.
change the bone structure.
Right.
No amount of surgery is going to change that, even if they put a mask on you.
Right.
They could measure the points from your eyes, the points of your cheeks, and the top of your head.
What if it's all latex anyway? What if they got it down to where, like Sav, what I'm saying, Tyler Perry, when you get a second after this, look at his pictures up close. I'm telling you, that is probably not even a real person. I don't know. I've looked at over 100 of them just because of this Biden thing. And I looked, there were other ones in question, and like there's a gap above his eyelid, and it's flat and like that's why he wears glasses a lot, I think. But when you actually see it up close, people are not looking for it, And this is something new too, I think, to actually even look for a mask, So I'm just saying, when you get a second, maybe on your phone or something, anybody just go and look and tell me what y'all think later on in another stream.
Well, here's this guy going on about it, man. There's a couple things I found about this.
That is not Joe Biden, executed in 2020. Finally, we've got something to talk about, and it'll be very interesting to see how this is received. Donald Trump went onto his social media and he reshared another truth, which said, this is no Joe Biden, executed in 2020. Hashtag Biden, clones, doubles, and robotic engineered soulless mindless entities are what you see. Democrats don't know the difference.
See you later. Oh, me no more. Have a good night. Thanks for coming up, and that was good information, bro.
Yep. Thank
you. Well, if we actually just start looking and use some common sense to see the person that was in control for the last 4 years, it's clearly not the same person as the Joe Biden we saw many, many years ago. If we actually look at what took place in those 4 years, we can clearly see this man had no control of the entire country. But what's going to be interesting is people already putting out posts saying Donald Trump sharing wild conspiracies. Is it wild though? People actually find it very hard to even admit that they voted for Joe Biden, but yet they still hate on Donald Trump. People find it very hard to even stand up for the Democrats, even though they're a diehard Democrat, because they're embarrassed of what actually took place in the previous years and what they're doing now. And then you also got the mainstream media. If they focus on this now, then the truth will start coming out. More people are going to start waking up and actually looking. Actually, that doesn't look like him. What's going on? But we got to stop playing the movie and start looking at real life. That's not Joe Biden. And he was taken out a long time ago.
What? See, this is the shit, How do you know what to fucking believe?
You don't.
Yeah, that's right.
You're at the mercy of the information that's given to you, and you don't really judge. You just put it in the back of your mind until something else pops up that.
Well, yeah, and on every level, they're manipulating you and propagandizing you.
Yep.
On every level, in the movies especially. A lot of people don't know that the Pentagon is directly involved with Hollywood movies.
Yes.
Oh, they've been for a long time.
Yep.
Even up to including, you look at Laurel Canyon with Wonderland Air Base, which is there in Laurel Canyon. They've got this huge fucking movie studio and recording studio there. It's one of the biggest in the world. It's like, what are they doing? What's it got to do with the military? Huh?
Laurel Canyon is where all the musicians lived from the 60s.
Yes. That's also where Sharon Tate and Abigail Folger and them were murdered by the Manson gang in 1969. The house, in fact, that Sharon Stone was living in was formerly the home of Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys.
Yep.
And Manson had actually stayed in that house. A bunch of the Manson gang had actually stayed in that house. So
they were going to use him to write music because he wrote songs.
Yeah, listen, his music was pretty good.
Yep.
If you've ever listened to any of it, it's pretty damn good, man. Because he did have some stuff recorded. And then he got really bent at Brian Wilson because he accused Brian Wilson of stealing one of his songs and then using it to make a song that became a hit. I don't remember which one it was, but there's a lot more to that people realize, really a lot more to it. Now, I think that Brian Wilson was the one being targeted, or Terry Melcher, because I think wasn't it Terry Melcher bought the house after Brian Wilson moved out, and then it was Sharon Tate that lived there, and I think he might have been going after Melcher.
Brian Wilson had
Doris Day's kid.
Brian Wilson had that crazy psychologist guy controlling his whole life. You ever read about that?
Yeah.
That was nuts too.
Yeah, that's a deep rabbit hole. You get into that, man.
Oh yeah.
When I lived out in California, I really dove deep into it because Tex Watson had lived in the town where I lived and actually murdered somebody there before he ever met Manson. I think it was in 1967. And he beat this old man, and he ended up dying. And robbed him. And later, somebody that saw this guy follow the old man home recognized him during the Manson trial, said, "Oh my God, that's the guy that followed Mr. Stubbs home." This guy named Stubbs that lived in Olancha, California. They kicked him and beat him to death and shit.
They hung out at one of the movie ranches that did all the Western movies.
Yeah, the Spawn Ranch, yeah. Where they were caught was right off of Panamint Valley Road in Death Valley. They were there was a ranch house up at the end of one of the washes, Goler Wash. And you know that picture where they're all in that arched rock?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got my picture in that same rock. I've been in there. Pretty crazy. The house is burnt down now, but I was there when the house was still there. And when they found him, he was, they were about everybody ready to leave. They had everybody cuffed up and outside the house and everything. And they were getting ready to leave the house. And they didn't have Manson. And one of the cops, as he went to turn to leave, he looked and he noticed a little bit of hair sticking out of the cupboard under the sink. And he opened up the sink, and there was Charlie curled up under the sink and under the cupboard there. And he just looked up at the cop and went, "Hi," like that. And they pulled him out of there and cuffed him and took him into custody. But they almost left out of there without getting him.
Great.
Yeah, I've got the, I'll have to dig them out. I've got the interrogation tapes of Krenwinkel and Sabian and Watson, and also of the Inyo County Sheriff's deputy that first busted up to where they were at because they were stopped. They noticed there was some vandalism had been taking place on state equipment in Death Valley, and these dune buggy tracks from the vandalism led to Goler Wash, and they were there checking out what maybe these are the people that did it. And they come across a pickup truck that was going up into Goler Wash, and it had a whole bunch of stolen car parts and shit in it. That's how they ended up getting their feet into it. But yeah, there was I went deep into that rabbit hole, and actually met a guy who is claimed to be one of Manson's kids. The guy lives in Trona. So yeah, pretty interesting. I know a guy that owns the Manson school bus too. So that's how. Oh, and I met another guy in Big Pine, California, that he went to some of the love-ins that the Manson family had there in Death Valley. He went to one that was at the Oh shit! It's Ballarat is the name of the place. It's a ghost town now. That's got a population of 1.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of
Okay,
that.
yeah, the guy still sells ice cold soda and shit like that out there, but there's hardly anybody ever there or anything. Anyway, the guy was telling me that he was hanging out at one of these love-ins with the Manson family, and he met Rod Stewart before Rod Stewart was famous. It's pretty crazy, man. So yeah, I went deep into it, man. And Bugliosi hid all the evidence showing that Tex Watson had killed that old man in Olancha because it would have screwed up his Manson influencing everybody to kill people, because that showed that Watson was actually killing people before he ever even met Manson.
Yeah.
And Bugliosi covered that up because he had to write that he was writing that book. Now, the person that brought it back to the attention of the public was none other than Sharon Tate's sister. And this was probably just about 15 years ago that she brought it to light. And that's where I started investigating into it. I got pictures and I went to Mr. Stubbs' house where he lived and showed how the crime had actually taken place. I'll have to dig all that shit out. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, the guy, he didn't die immediately. They took him up to the hospital in Lone Pine, and he died later. And they never did catch who did it. But then later on, during the Manson trial, a lady that worked at the store where Mr. Stubbs would go every day, and she worked there at the store, and they had a TV in the store, and they were showing the Manson trials, and they showed Tex Watson being brought in. And she recognized him as the guy that followed Mr. Stubbs home the day that he was beaten. And fact of the matter is, he did live there. In fact, I've been to the house, which is abandoned now, where the guy was holed up at when he lived there in Olancha. My son Ryan called it the Manson fuck palace. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, it's that's a deep rabbit hole. It really is. And
I put a Google.
What's
I'm
that?
sorry. I put a Google thing on there for that ranch that's on the Goler Pass.
Oh yeah,
on it. It's a
Goler
Ranch.
Wash, yeah. Let me see.
Pretty interesting. It doesn't have any pin spots where you can go and walk around. It only has pictures.
You know what? It didn't bring up any. It didn't really bring up anything. I mean, it brought up a Mercator map is all I got from it.
Oh, wow. What happened?
You can share it on your screen.
Oh, okay.
If you have it up, you can share it, and I can bring it up here.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that's real close to China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station, which is, in my opinion, the real Area 51. It's also where they were doing the Pioneer MK Ultra work with Operation Paperclip.
Right.
Pretty crazy shit, man. Oh, there he is. He's got it.
Yeah.
Wait, I have to stop my screen and then add that. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. These are all the.
See how it's burnt down?
Yep.
It's all burnt down now. When I was there, it wasn't burnt down.
Right there. That's
yeah. Now that arched rock is over to the right. If you follow that little path up to the right, and then off to the right side of that is where that arched rock is at.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, there's the cabinet he was in.
That's an old building too. It has the daubing in between the. That's an old building.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff like that out there.
Whoa.
Yeah, see the logs that they used for the pillars and whatnot. Yeah, there was a vibe there too, man. There was a vibe.
Right.
That's way out in the desert.
Even those pictures in itself have a little vibe to them.
Now that's not too far from Ballarat. What that ghost town I was talking about. Yeah, that was a.
Yeah, that just looked.
They was hanging, man.
Wow.
Squeaky Fromm and the whole little crew.
Is it still standing today?
The only one you saw that burned part.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, the burn part. There's no, the only structure that's there is what was stone and brick.
Wow.
The rest of it is
here's
all burned away. I think it burned in, I want to say like 2013 or 2014.
It's got some really good pictures on that Barker Ranch. If you click on the name Barker Ranch, it pulls up only photos. But that's, you can scroll out on Google Maps and realize that there is nothing near that place. Nothing.
One time Manson went into, he had 2 girls with him, and he went into this bar. He wanted to go in there and have a beer, and he went in there and he didn't have a shirt on. And so they made him leave because he didn't have a shirt. So him and the 2 girls left, and he came back in about 20 minutes later wearing a vest with 2 girls that were bald, and they had made him a vest out of their hair so he could go in and have a beer. Dude, I'm not shitting you. Some of the stories I've heard with this guy is insane. Talk to actual eyewitnesses and shit, Pretty crazy.
Maybe he had some kind of vibe to him or something. I knew somebody.
He was very, very charismatic. Very charismatic.
I knew somebody a long time ago that he could stop. We could be somewhere and he could stop somewhere. And I could say, hey, hold on. I'm going to go to the bathroom or something. And I could come back 2 minutes later. There'd be 5 people standing there talking to him. Or if we were stuck somewhere, I would say, here, you hop out there and you put your thumb out and see if we can get a ride. And he would have 2 people stop like that. And I'd say, how do you do it? How do you do it? I've been standing out there for an hour.
Right.
How do you do it? Same thing if we were someplace where, he would just stop and I would turn around and do something. And he'd have 2 girls just walk right up to him. I say, how? How do you do it? And if it's the vibe or his energy or something about him that he would just, no matter what happened. So I would always make it a rule if we were traveling or going somewhere. I'd be like, yep, you go out there and you put your thumb out. You go ahead. Because I knew.
Right? Well, one of the things that I know that many have said that talk to Manson, and I can kind of see it when you're when he's doing an interview, but it's different when you're in person with somebody because you're getting the vibe.
Yeah.
But that he had this way of looking you in the eye and piercing into your soul and telling you truths that you necessarily did not maybe want to hear, but they were still shaking. It would still shake your foundation. And I've heard him say, and I've seen that in interviews with him as well. He says, I didn't do that to those kids. I didn't do anything to it. You discarded them. You gave them to me. That's what he said. And it was pretty, when you go into the background of some of those, like those girls, they came from pretty troubled backgrounds, really.
Yeah.
And I speculate, even though it's not really been brought up, that there was probably abuse of a sexual nature involved as well. But yeah, there was a whole bunch of shit going on with this guy. You go into the cut off a dude's ear. Manson did. There's some pretty crazy shit going on with that. Anyway, we were talking about how the Pentagon is directly involved with movies. And that took us to Laurel Canyon.
Yes.
And we know we're talking about Manson and shit. But this is Halle Berry. Candace Owen.
Classic.
The Pentagon has a budget for film. There's a whole department in the Pentagon. I know that. That's a fact. There you go. That's all you need to know. There's an entire department in the Pentagon. They get involved with films, and they get involved with films for the purpose of propaganda. They always have. What movies I should have said Pentagon instead of CIA. Tons of them. I should show you the list. You should pull it up. It's wild. Yeah, Pentagon Department for Hollywood. Tons of them. Even Transformers. Even Transformers, because they're concerned about certain narratives. They get involved with World War films. How are we telling a story about history? Usually it's because we're lying about what we did or trying not to make Americans aware of the crimes against humanity that we commit overseas.
Yeah, the Pentagon just funded some films: Black Hawk Down, Red Dawn, GoldenEye.
The more you know. So now you understand your experience in theaters is what your government wants you to think. They want you to think that this is how things happen, and it's usually not at all how things have actually happened. And it's crazy. You grow up in school and you think propaganda belongs to the East or something.
Mm-hmm.
Propaganda is the name of the game of our government. They, again, never want you to look into the crimes that they are committing. So they're constantly trying to sell themselves as the good guys.
Yep.
They did the most. They rescued and saved the world. They've never done anything bad overseas. If you are living and you believe that the American government hasn't committed crimes against humanity, you got to wake up from the propaganda. You just got to learn real history, not what was taught to you in a textbook. That's all just propaganda. You know, we've done horrific things.
I agree. We have.
Revelation of the method.
Every war movie, all the war movies from the 40s and 50s, they used all those to get people to enlist. They used all the stars, Bob Hope, and all these other ones, all the popular singers, all the, you know.
That's what I told somebody one time. They says, "What?" They was asking me when I was in the Army. I says, "They said, why did you join the Army?" I says, "Well, because I've always wanted to see Bob Hope." They're like, "What?" Like, well, yeah, he's all the time doing these USO tours and shit. I figured this would be the best way to see him. I can't never get tickets.
Right.
Oh, we got FE Nations in the house tonight. An AO or OA. Looking at my dyslexia kicking in here tonight. Wow. Ryan, Cookie Monster's here with us. Look, and how are you guys doing? Lowry and Nicole, how are you guys tonight?
I'm fine, Uncle Sav. I'm fine.
Mac Daddy
I'm
Sav.
fine.
You're either Uncle Sav or Grandpa Sav. We're just
Papa Sav.
decompressing from the sombrero. So
Solve my problems.
we're actually testing studio light, so we're just gonna hang out and listen to you. I know about Laurel Canyon. I love this shit. This is like some of my favorite shit because I'm in music. Like that it's the most fascinating psyop of all time. It came out of one little place in California.
Yeah, the Doors came out of there too, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
All of them.
Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath.
Rilo Kiley.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a little bit more indie than the whole like 70s.
Yeah, love.
It's that big, y'all.
We're not gonna see shit
Oh
crash.
my gosh.
It's fucking cloudy as hell out.
Hey, Laurie, I like that background, dog. That looks sick.
Oh yeah, we Nicole's a lighting person, so she like, well, if we're gonna go on Savs, let's just light up the background and see what it looks like.
It's cool.
I thought that was the clouds at first, and then I got on the big screen and looked, and it's like, oh, it's in the trees. That's raw, dude. That was
Actually, one of Nathan Commercial Sound and Videos, a blue light,
Yeah, we're
red light.
living out of his studio in Atlanta, so he has all these lights and lasers and shit, so we get to play with them.
He has rockets. I was like, what do you do with this?
that looks cool, though. Just wanted to tell y'all, it's good, dude.
Yeah. See, studio lighting and stage lighting and like lighting for photography, completely different things. So if you want the background lit, there's just all kinds of different things. But if we pointed them at ourselves, it looks like, you know, when you like change a setting on it, like a photo, you like turn the exposure all the way up and it looks like all that old film stuff. If you point these two lights at us, that's what we look like.
Yeah, we look like it looks like we're in a green screen,
But
or
if-
not a green screen, but a black light. Right?
Yeah, but if you point it away, so it's a red LED and a blue LED, but they're really not that good of LEDs actually.
Okay.
They say LED's not good for you, man.
LED sucks for you. Do not point it at your eyes. Do not look at the LED light. Just don't.
even in your house. Okay, so
Don't use those energy efficient bulbs. Those are
I saw
terrible.
this video this guy took and he ran real high speed. So then when he played it back, it was super slow-mo and it was just flash, 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 flash. You got, fluorescent light. After a while, fluorescent light will start to give me a headache. And it's because of that. It's a continuous pulsing of your retinas like that, and it starts giving you a headache after a while.
I can't use these LED lighting computer monitors. I have a damaged nerve in my eye, and that's exactly what it does. It makes my eye flicker really.
Are you serious?
Yep. So
do you get like auras or like the little dots when you look at the LED?
Sometimes the corner of my eye will blur out, and then it gets all weird looking, and I have to like put sunglasses on and do breathing exercises to calm it down. Otherwise, I get a massive migraine. So
Oh my gosh.
I use all
Okay.
these old LCD screens because they're a lot more natural looking.
Yeah, because they actually use like equal parts of RGB and not artificial bullshit. But yeah, lights, the aura lights, like the onset of the aura with a migraine and LED lights are like the same thing.
Yeah.
That's probably why people with epilepsy can't drive.
They told me years ago it's called macular migraines. It's from the back of the eye. You get light auras, and sometimes your eye will just go blind. You just won't see nothing.
So what happens when you get I'm sorry, we got switched to migraines, but anytime I talk to somebody with migraines, it helps other people understand what migraines actually are and how debilitating they are.
It's a form
are
of
terrible.
It's
It is a form,
of
yeah.
epilepsy.
It's like your body goes into a seizure. I have the nerve ones where I'll probably end up with like arthritis in them because it's neurological.
Yeah.
Mine's
Do you
the
take
nerve. I don't take medicines.
Make no doubt that all of it are components in controlling your mind.
Indeed.
Lighting, color, the compulsory school system, and if you notice, they always have a certain range of colors that are used.
Yep.
In there, you think about when you went to kindergarten, right? There was a lot of bright colors and stuff there, right? But as soon as you went into where you're sitting at a desk and everybody's in their little alphabetical order and shit, boom, drab time. No more colors all over everything. Nothing. It's just like going out of Oz back into Kansas or some shit, where it's all black and white again. This is pretty cool. This lady's got it. I think she's got it going on. Listen to this.
The best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied.
Yes. I think I've seen another version of that.
There's a couple of them. That was a AI that was a question to AI that a bunch of content creators on TikTok were reading. There's a cockroach crawling there right now. There is a cockroach drone listening to our conversation right now. Okay.
Yeah. He's evolving.
Dude, do not tell me that those motherfuckers can fly because cockroaches suck.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope the chipmunk eats them. As a matter of fact, can we stab it with a toothpick?
Can't
Go
they
give
fly
it
a
kid.
little bit? They can fly a little bit. They can sort of fluff.
Oh yeah, they
up
can.
above the earth.
Yeah, as soon as you try and capture it, I'm telling you, those things have been around forever. I caught a cockroach. I put it in a sealed bowl, literally taped it up with clear tape. The thing was still alive 2 weeks later.
Yeah, you can cut their head off and they can still mate.
That's actually wow.
They're
What
older
did you
than
make?
Cher.
What?
They're older than Cher.
Well, if you're in the South and you get around an oak tree at a certain time of the year, once the leaves fall, right before fall, they'll start like mating. and or in the spring. And what'll happen is there will be thousands of them, and you can. It just sounds like little chickens
He
going
said
on.
it. So what do you think about
Crazy.
Ew.
Yeah. So if you're down in the south now, you'll probably witness that at some point.
I don't.
Around oak trees. Oak trees. Be careful.
Okay, as far as I'm concerned, every single mosquito that has bit me has taken poison back to their fucking well, and they're all gonna die.
Yeah, it's. I didn't realize the South was so bad. It's
Yeah.
just like mosquito heaven down here.
Well,
where are y'all at?
We're in Georgia,
Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Okay.
I haven't seen. I've been here. Let me see. 30 years. I've been in Virginia. And I went to California for like 5 years, and I came back. Okay.
Right.
So I've never been bit or even seen a fucking mosquito since I've been here. I'm not shitting you. When I lived in Michigan,
The Matrix up
Because
right now.
Is it elevation? Is it your elevation?
No,
I
it's
don't know.
because
I
you're.
hear other people bitching about getting bit by mosquitoes and shit, but I swear to God, I've not even seen one here.
Wow.
Are you a fucking alien?
Yeah. What's your
I'm
blood
like
type?
Yeah.
A
What does it say on your dog tag?
It said A positive.
A positive.
Oh, 'cause there's an iron thing in that. I think they like iron.
I think it's because I smoke cigarettes.
No, it's definitely not. It's not because you smoke cigarettes. I smoke cigarettes and they still fucking bite me, but I'm AB negative, so I don't know. But you know what? As a matter of fact, I want to be like Sav. I wish I didn't have mosquitoes to bite me. So in New York, when I was living in Brooklyn, we were living in Brooklyn, but we weren't living together. I would get these notifications on my phone that would say, mosquito spraying tonight. Beware of the area around where that big shipwreck happened in Greenpoint.
Yeah. Remember.
So they would just like release these like genetically modified GMO mosquitoes into the atmosphere, well, into the ponds and like the marshy and like swamps, basically like where all the dead bodies go to rot from the mob. And I'm like, why? I'm like, GMO mosquitoes? Like,
Have you
how?
heard that they've had the first time in I think 75 years there were 4 cases of malaria in California. The first time in 75 years there were, and a couple in Florida this year.
But so that would be 6
Oh
out of a
my
million.
God, it's a new pandemic. Everybody take
No, but I'm
cover.
saying-
Just hide, run for the
I think
hills.
the mosquito
Buy
thing-
your, go to Costco, get some toilet paper. Like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, the
no.
world is coming to an end.
Get what I'm saying though? The Bill Gates
Yeah.
mosquitoes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm connecting it to that.
Okay.
You know? Did you see
Bill
the
Gates?
TED Talk where he released them in the crowd?
Hold on. Let me tell my sister to go to the store and get toilet paper.
Hey, Larry,
hold on.
did y'all see the TED
Where's the
Talk where
off?
Bill Gates released them in the crowd?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the one behind all of it.
Yes, exactly. I think that's why
These
they have them.
motherfuckers. All right, Bill Gates,
Yeah,
he fucking
already.
invented ticks, okay? He
Right.
invented ticks. He invented mosquitoes. He wants to make all the frogs gay.
Probably so.
Literally.
Probably
He
so.
wants to. Bill
I don't
Gates-
endorse this because I know it's probably horrible for you. But in the South, I'm going to use it
Yeah,
because fuck mosquitoes.
You got
Okay.
to. Just try not to inhale it. You're good though, dude.
You know, it doesn't really repel them as much as it masks your
It
odor.
would be way better if it got you high.
That was my understanding, Sav. It was like it masks the
Have you
odor.
ever heard of anybody like huffing off?
No, don't do that.
If y'all sit,
We do not endorse huffing off.
Do not
get
give
you
people
get you
ideas.
get you a fan, dude. One that's quiet, but get you a fan, and it'll keep them off of y'all if y'all doing.
Yo, man, you want to go to see some off with me?
Just like
you want to go get off with me? Like what?
Hold on.
Dude,
let
I
me
would-
get. Well, hold
I'd
on. Let me
drive down
let me
through
yell at my
Detroit.
sister. Get some off too while you're there.
I
Yeah.
drive down through Detroit and I'd see these brothers down there in fucking gold paint all up around their mouth.
Yeah,
and their
yeah.
face and shit. And it's like, you been huffing? No, man.
Yeah. I knew a kid when I was young that did that. He huffed gasoline.
Yeah, we had a guy that lived around here that did that. He was this guy was something else, man. He got a disability check because he was touched, you know. And
That's what golden showers is huffing.
Benz.
so he'd get one of these checks because he was, you know, like completely unemployable because he was crazy as fuck, right? and he'd go, "Y'all motherfucker gotta go down the country get your paycheck. I just go out to my mailbox."
Yeah. Yeah, there are ways to game the system. It's like, have you guys met like people that do like huffers? It's quite an interesting like
You've met
situation.
somebody who's a huffer?
Yeah, well, I lived in Brooklyn.
Because I'm a
I feel like
huffer,
a lot of
he's a
people are
huffer.
huffers.
Wouldn't you like to be a huffer too?
Yeah, it's like they will huff anything that has like anything that has a compression in a
Like
can.
nitrous?
They'll huff. Nitrous is clean, but like I'm not endorsing huffing nitrous.
on.
I've done that before, but like I'm saying anything that has that's compressed, you can suck the stuff that comes out of it and you'll get various highs. There are people that suck paint, they suck bug spray, they suck anything that gives you a little bit of high because there's that little bit of
Do they suck off?
I mean, the thing about it is like you have to
Duster.
understand.
They do that duster, that compressed air that you get.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, we went out all night and we sucked off.
They started locking that up in the store.
Yeah.
They do. They lock up spray paint.
Yeah.
I thought it was because of graffiti, not because people were like painting their mouths gold.
I know,
mean,
right?
Fucking weird.
I mean, when I was in high school, there was whipped cream canisters in the
Excuse me,
grocery store
everyone.
where we worked, and we're like, yeah, we gotta get a little nitrous off the top of it. It was pretty fun, but like, I mean, we're talking like serious, like huffing, like paint thinner, and like other shit where it's just like, whoa, dude.
Cracker in high school.
We
I had
used
a
to be able
cracker.
to get these little cylinders. They look like
The
those
little
CLT
nitrous things from that drugstore or that fucking convenience store, and you'd be like, "Can I get a case of nitrous?" And they'd be like, "Sure." And we'd immediately go to the car. We'd have the balloons, and we'd just be sitting there. We're like, "Wah wah wah wah." Yeah.
You used to be able to do it with whipped cream canisters.
Yeah, but no, that's
ingredient.
boring. The nitrous cracker, the nitrous and the cracker from what was
it's
that?
real
What
good.
was that? What was that head shop Sav in Royal Oak?
Nicole, it was there. You could get it from any store that was of a Middle Eastern descent.
Any party
and had
store.
that- had that
Any party store.
Had that hot, bright writing on it. It's, cold beer, hot sandwiches.
Yes, the party store.
Here's something.
The party store.
Here's
we
something.
had one by my house called Farty Artie's Party Store.
Oh my god. DeWitt says Oregon virgin coconut oil is said to act as a natural repellent, and then there is an old remedy, moisturizer skin so soft. Best regards. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that I think works better than off. We chose the worst possible path, which is to go to the gas station and get off. But like, if anybody has suggestions,
I'll go to the gas station and get off.
Wow.
it's just down the street. It's where we get cigarettes and beer and off.
That's where you go to get off, huh? You go down.
Yeah,
to the gas
sure.
You go to get off there.
Sure.
Now that's a party store.
That sounds like good.
That sounds like a good time.
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, baby.
Yeah.
That's a party.
Oh, it's called Happy Ending Party Store.
Angel Baby Carson says make essential oils. I don't know.
No, you guys, you know what's the best thing to ward off bugs? They use it in Tulum, and it is Peruvian, and it is a resin from a tree called the Copal tree, and it's called Peruvian Negro, and it's like a dark resin, and you like literally melt the resin on a charcoal, and it smells like Tulum, Mexico, or pretty much all over Mexico, and it's used to ward off bugs. Also, like sage is like ancient Lysol. People light sage.
Lemongrass works too.
Lemongrass works.
Yeah.
Sage works. There's actually, there's a ton of oils that work, but I'm in Atlanta. I can't just go to the 24-hour party apothecary.
Well, seriously though, still being in the South, I haven't worried about bugs after New York for 20 years.
Maybe
and now
bugs are biting you because you're worried about them.
or that they just, I don't know, but like I just have
I
not
think
thought about
bugs.
bug
I don't
spray
think bugs
for 20
like you
years.
because I don't think bugs bite you because they like you. Do you think a bug has a consciousness to that? Do you know what my favorite thing is? To pop the fucking mosquito when it's biting you. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Love
Just,
it.
all you have to do is tighten up. Let them get in there and start biting. Endure it.
I
And then
mean,
if you
it's
tighten up your
actually
muscle,
serious.
you
Like
draw.
there's bites.
Anyway,
And-
sorry, we didn't mean to hijack.
Yeah,
You
sorry.
keep going. You keep going. You were talking about stuff. I want to hear more about Laurel Canyon.
Yeah, we kind of segued off into that, and I wasn't even prepared to discuss that. I'll have to get out all my Manson shit for that.
Okay, you go. You
But
go.
we were talking about, how all right, so the actor with the Joe Biden thing, it's been all over social media today because of Donald Trump posting that Joe Biden, the real Joe Biden's been dead since 2020. And that's pretty crazy. It's one thing for one of these Q-tards to say it, but for Donald Trump.
President Trump just reposted this on Truth Social. And let's look at the caption. There is no Joe Biden. Gone in 2020. Biden clones, doubles, robotic engineers, soulless, mindless entities are what you see. Democrats don't know the difference. A lot of comments on the post look like this. This is wild for the president of the United States to say, but he said it. So what do you think about it? Is he telling the truth? Or do you think he's gone down a rabbit hole like a lot of us has, and now it just can't come out? As always, let me know what you think about all of this down below.
I don't think he's the same Joe Biden.
No, it's definitely not him. Look at any photo. You'll notice, too, that there's multiple Joe Bidens depending on what he's doing in public. They all look different.
Yes. Different heights.
Yep.
It's like with Hillary. There was about 4 different Hillarys out there at one time.
There was a theory that Bush's father didn't actually die and that he kind of met the same fate and maybe got busted, arrested.
Yeah, I'd heard that too. I mean, come on, man. I don't know why they always got to hold shit from people, Pull the fucking Band-Aid off. Let us know what's happening, right? All right, I'm going to show you guys. This is the cool. I ran across this. This is totally off topic, but this is like the coolest car. This is
Can I jump in for 1 second before you start? Nico,
Yeah.
I put a link in the private chat for you about the migraine headache, the thing that I got. I put it on the bottom, ocular migraine. Thank you. Good, so.
Here we go. So yeah, this is one of 2 copper Shelby Cobras. It's copper. Wait till you see this thing.
Made out of copper, or it's copper colored?
No, it's made of copper.
Wow.
Or at least copper plated.
Wow.
So this is a one of 2 hand-formed, fully exposed copper Cobra.
Wow.
This was a show vehicle. It's a CSX continuation car with a side oiler 427. This thing is insane. It's only got 218 miles on it, and it's estimated to go anywhere between $750,000 and $850,000.
Oof.
They did the.
Is that made out of real
contrasted
copper?
brushstroke stripes.
Yeah.
This thing is crazy.
$800,000 car.
I knew somebody a long time ago that had a replica of one of those. That was a fiberglass car. That was pretty scary to ride in.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy, man. 218 miles on that thing. What did they say? What year was it?
The 60s.
Yeah, it looks like a 65. Yeah,
Side oiler Ford is a big motor. That's probably 500 horsepower. I mean, that car probably only weighs about 1,800 pounds. So with 500 horsepower, that's fast.
Hang on, I got to make sure I can actually show this.
That kit car one I was in only had a 302, a little 302 Ford in it, and that was a white knuckler. That didn't make your butthole pucker up. I don't know what will.
No, I wasn't able to show that. Oh, this guy's little take on the Katy Perry Blue Origin thing. Boy, I want to thank those people for doing that. I really do. I want to thank Jeff Bezos and Katy Perry for sending more and more people over with questions. And the thing is it made people start questioning the moon landing.
Yep.
And more and more people calling bullshit on that. They're really, I don't know, man. They're losing their shit. I've heard that they're actually doing a lot of this geoengineering shit with the blocking out the sun, because the sun is actually producing frequencies that are awakening people, and that's what they're trying to block out. Now, our sun today, wow, was it ever crazy looking? Let me see if I can. I looked out there; it was really bright. My friend took a picture of it, and he said Africa called and said they want the sun back. Let me show you this picture. That's great. I mean, that's something else. Look at that, man. And the picture doesn't do it justice because it was so red.
Yeah.
It was so red.
That just happened in Florida. There was a whole bunch of people who posted a sun that looked just like that in Florida, but that was supposed to be the moon, and they were like, the moon is up here, and there's this.
Oh, yeah, I saw that video.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
That was bizarre. What the fuck is going on in Florida?
God knows.
Oh my God. Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway, this guy's take on the Katy Perry thing.
We're on the same page that none of these people went to space, right? And I'll do you one better. We're on the same page that no human ever in the history of humanity has ever been to space. We've never been to the moon, and we certainly have not sent rovers to Mars. Why? Because there's a firmament above the Earth, and the Earth is flat. This space flight, do y'all really think Katy Perry is on this rocket?
That looks like a video game.
Do you think Bezos put his fiance on this capsule? This capsule is free falling right now. And it's free falling, and the chutes come out at 6,000 feet. That's a little over a mile for it to slow down from a free fall. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? And this landing right here, let me tell you what. The commentators were like, oh, it's a soft landing, even though it looks like a hard landing.
Break your back.
Look at that landing.
That would break your back.
That right there. Hold on. Yeah, okay, soft landing. All right. Look at that. It bounced, bro. It bounced. And you see that smoke? How fast that smoke?
Jaron said that they got an air thing that blows out underneath of it, and that's why you saw all that dust. I'm like, bullshit, they do.
Who the fuck
Did you
is
really say that?
Wait a second.
Yeah.
How can they keep the 3 windows perfectly in line? Also, if you back up like 10 seconds,
How did they not
or so,
shatter?
Can we just look at what the parachute looks like just for a second? Like, just back up to the shot. Okay. Back up. Okay, yeah. Where does the parachute come from?
I guess they deploy it out of the thing. I don't know, man.
Like an airbag?
Yeah.
Why don't planes have airbags and Katy Perry gets to have one without a fucking helmet? Like, fuck that bitch. That is not cool.
Little over a
much
mile
video?
for it to slow down from a
Okay,
free
okay.
fall.
It opens like a butterfly.
Do you
Look
understand
at now,
that-
it looks
how
like an
ridiculous
angel,
that is?
and then they cut
And this
to
landing
this.
right
Who
here,
the
let
fuck
me
is
tell you
filming
what.
this?
Exactly.
Who is filming
The
this?
commentators were like, "Oh, it's a soft landing, even though it looks like a hard landing."
No, it.
Look at this. Look at that landing. That right there. Hold on. Yeah, okay, soft landing. All right. Look at that. It bounced, bro. It bounced. You see that smoke? How fast that smoke? That right there is a neck operation. That right there is a chiropractic membership.
That's spinal
like
compression.
weekly sessions, bro, to recover from this joint. Katy Perry, come on.
Doesn't that look like a blimp? The
And like,
parachute there?
everything's cool. Everyone walks out cool, no injuries. Look at Bezos. This is how they pulled it off to make it look like they're in space. They got on one of those 0G airplanes. This is regular stuff that anyone can do. It makes you look like you're flying around 0G. They just go up and down like this. Okay. And they can put a capsule inside of one of these planes and put screens around and make it seem like they're looking outside to around Earth. They can fake all that. This is Bezos. Okay, this is Bezos. He's got billions of dollars. He can make it look real. You know how like in the movies, they're driving the car and You know they're not actually driving a car and the city's going by them and all that and trees and all that. They can do any of that. These are billionaires. And the reason why they don't want you to know that the earth is flat and that there's a firmament above us, and they renamed the firmament. They call it the Van Allen belt, a radiation belt. We can't get it. Oh, that's the firmament. The reason why they don't want you to know about it is because it points to a creator. It means that there's a creator. It points to the Bible, points to the God of the Bible, who is Jesus Christ, who is God in the flesh, who came down to earth to save us from our sins. They don't want you to know none of that. The elites, all the people who report to, they don't want you to know that you're perfectly created in God's image and that you have purpose and that you're not an accident, a cosmic accident from a big bang that came from nothingness. They don't want you to know that. Life is on purpose. Earth is an oasis God created for humanity, for us to be one with him.
Yeah, that's a great question, Nicole. Where in the hell were those chutes stored at?
The other question that I have, you've seen them on social media. It does the comparison between the Blue Origin bullshit and then the one that we waited in the 80s to see where it was going to crash down. They're coming down from the Apollo mission and stuff. The Van Allen belts and all of that stuff. Where is like the heat thing from Apollo 11? Like, how gullible are people? How gullible are people? It's sad to me. And you know what? It's okay if you don't wake up because bye.
You know what's funny is like what I'm really interested in is because we've been kind of like in our own echo chamber for 10 years, like all the people that we know that have been talking about it for a long time. Whenever you show new videos of people like randomly on TikTok, these are people I've never met. Like I'm seeing new ones every day, and I'm like, people are finding them. We're being kept apart from each other on purpose. The whole divide. Don't let everyone get together on this thing. I'm seeing random videos from random people that never were in the initial community, but say 2015 or so, that are just popping up. I'm like, if that's the case, really, and we know that we're being censored throughout the internet universe, there's got to be millions. There's got to be millions of people out there trying to do this stuff, and I'm seeing like videos like this. Like Zach does a Saturday thing now for Globebusters, where he does an update on like new flat Earth people, and he'll be like, they weren't talking about flat Earth a week ago, and now they're talking about it. That's just what he can access. We can't, like, if I put a search in, I can't find those videos. It's so divided, and like I see a guy like that, I'm like, it makes me happy. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming out with content.
I'm starting to see a lot of stuff on different platforms now that never had stuff on it before, like BitChute and Rumble. Yeah. BitChute especially, and BitChute is more focused. I think BitChute is run by some English, and I'm starting to see a lot of stuff in Europe now where a lot of people are jumping on board. I think if it gets to the point where now people are really starting to question everything, and especially this, they'll just shut the internet off and make some excuse for it. Say, oh, it's the Ukraine, or it's
God, a barge hit a bridge.
Yeah, they'll come up with something when.
Oh, geez, you guys, something fell from the earth and we don't know what it is. It's a square from outer space and it hit a fucking power station.
There's an asteroid the size of 33 sheep.
3 are coming and we should be worried about that. You guys don't look up. Don't look up.
Oh, if you've not
don't keep your chin up. Don't just keep your chin down. Just never look up.
Look for a movie. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. It's called Don't Look Up.
Yep.
And he's an astronomer, and him and
plays the biggest nerd. What's her bitch face? She's the one that cheated on Miley Cyrus's husband with Jessica Simpson.
No.
No, not Jessica. No, not Jessica Simpson. Hold on. No, that was a pop star.
The Hunger
Jessica,
Games.
she was from the Hunger Games. What's her fucking name? She's such a fucking bitch. Sorry, she's a bitch. I actually met her in real life. She actually is a bitch. Sorry.
Anyway, she's the whole premise is they discover this asteroid and it's headed toward Earth. Mm-hmm. And they go to the White House and shit to tell them about it. And it's just like nobody's even taking any of it seriously. They're just trying to see how they can use it to get more votes and shit. And he's like, you don't understand. When this thing hits, it's gonna be an extinction level event. They're like, yeah, maybe we can use that. And it's like, oh my God. Is
Yeah.
who's it? Glenn Close? Isn't it Glenn Close?
Glenn Close and what's his face from the little he
Little
used to
fat face
little
guy.
fat kid from like the
Yeah.
burger movie and no the one where they wanted to be 21. No, McFry one. Oh, what's his name? See, there's thank you. He played a really good part, but the last scene of that movie is my favorite because they like went in a spaceship and they went up and then they got out of their cryogenic chambers and then they went out and they're like, ooh, and she's like, ooh, look at the pretty birdie, and it's like, "Arr!" And just ate her.
You know, so I was going to say, so the bugger of it is like, that these guys that they're answering directly to us, whether it's directly or indirectly, like in the media, they know that we know that we know that they know that they know that we know, and we can go that forever, right? Everyone knows what it is. Everyone already knows what it is, and now it's just this big humiliation joke ritual between those of us who sort of organically sort of found our way back to this versus the people that have always known what it was.
Right.
And we have this back and forth, basically just like, how can we make it more of a joke to each side? It's not even like the anti-flat earthers are literally, a lot of people call them demons, whatever. I don't give a fuck. What it is like, they're basically, it's now just a rolling joke because we know
demonically inspired.
I would say that there's probably something in that, but it's really just like, it's like they know that we know that they know. And I'll scream from a mountaintop. It's like, I know that like the big gatekeepers know. I know that they know. And now it's like, what kind of a joke can we make? How big of a joke can we make versus them versus us? It seems like it's to that point now. We're like in the spiritual war of cosmology. It isn't that we don't know that it's flat. Everyone knows it's flat. Now it's like, how much can we make fun of you for not knowing that it wasn't always flat versus like everything else, right?
It's tantamount to their getting you to deny God, to deny a creator. Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
That's the whole point behind it, because this is spiritual. Listen, when I start seeing too much protest over something, over the top protest, then I go, oh, methinks the lady doth protest too much. Right? You're not going to go out in a really low cut dress for people to not look at your tits. Okay.
Indeed.
That's not, and so for a woman to dress like that on purposely and then go, oh, don't look at my tits. It's like, what the fuck are you doing in the first place?
Yeah. Wear a snowsuit if you don't want people to look at you.
Right. Exactly. So I'm like, I see him. So my point being, like, you have these anti-flat earth channels like TFE and McToon and McKeegan and Simon Dan. The list goes on. How many
They wear dresses in the dark, I bet. They probably
how many anti hollow earth channels can you think of?
None. None.
No. How many anti concave earth?
None.
Channels?
Zero.
How many anti simulation channels are there?
Zero.
Right. How come there's a bunch of anti flat earth channels?
If you won that one up more than anything else, and you'll remember this, Sav, in the Great Purge of 2018, that lady in front of Congress sold it to the rest of us. We were almost there. We're like, I think we have this figured out. And then she goes in front of Congress and says, of all the examples of things that you can cancel on YouTube and move down your recommendation list, why did flat earth come up? That's when you know you're over the target.
Right.
well, then maybe it's a dog whistle. Is it a dog whistle?
There's that. There's some of that too.
Was that interview with Congress maybe a dog whistle?
Might be.
But the thing, the reality of it is there again, I think there's too much protest to it. Now, another thing that I see too is that
Grover's Lives Matter, Sav.
So when you get into it too is when you get into like Jesus, okay?
Right.
Nothing evokes more commotion than the mention of Jesus, okay? And this is really interesting right here. Have you ever seen those Coke machines where you can have your own
get
message?
cocaine? Like you get like a bullet delivered? No.
No, go ahead.
Vending machine where you can actually type in what message you want it to have say on the can.
And they
right?
wouldn't let him say Jesus. Oh,
Now, hang on, watch this. This is crazy. Well, like when I saw Glenn Beck do a thing, he was talking one time, and he had Rupert Murdoch called him into his office, pissed off like a son of a bitch. And he goes, "Do you know how many times you mentioned Jesus on your channel or mentioned God on your channel?" And he's no, and he says 87 times. Like he sat there and counted it and forbade him from talking about God or Jesus on his channel, on his show anymore. And he just disregarded it. And he did it again, and he got called on the carpet again for it. Now the thing is, watch this. This is crazy because they did this whole little thing with it. Oh, is it? Have I got the right one? No. Wait a second. What channel do I have up? Hold up a second. Oh, because I got it open twice. Ain't I the retard? I've got X open in 2 spots.
okay, that's double X. Careful there.
Yeah,
son.
double X. We're getting out there now.
I mean, come on, this is not rated.
Let me see. Share screen. Is this the one? No, this is the one right here. There we go. There we go.
Watching what happens when you put Jesus in there.
Personalize a message. You can put Allah loves you. Or you could even put, let me see. Let's just try to have Buddha loves you. But you cannot even type in the word Jesus.
Wow.
Wow.
And not allow this text on the
That's
camera.
crazy.
But can you do Jesus, like, and put like the accent over the E?
Let's see, Satan. Oh, no, bro. Hold on. Satan loves you. You can put that. You can put Satan loves you, Allah loves you, Buddha loves you. But when you type in this word, you can't even type the word in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dude, what if my boyfriend's name was
Watch what happens
Jesus?
when you put Jesus
Or
in there.
Ace?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's always been curious to me. Like, I know there's a lot of old stories, out there in conspiracy land and everything else about, the J word is very, very bad for certain circles of society, whatever. But it's weird, right? It's like, well, we can talk about these other gods, but for whatever reason, the one that you can't do is Jesus. Like, what is that? Like I always look at that. I'm like, does that mean you're over the target? I mean, to me, it's like anything you can't talk about seems like the most important thing you should talk about. And I don't know anything about Christianity. I didn't even grow up in it. It's like, my neighbors were. I didn't go to church or anything. That's weird to me. Like, why not Jesus and all the rest of the gods, but not Jesus? I don't get it.
Right.
Somebody programmed that machine to do that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, no, the machine doesn't have hopefully it doesn't have a consciousness of its own. And you're right, it was programmed that, but that had to be specifically put in a targeted
Maybe they were out of
syntax
Jesus
forbidden,
Coke. It could have been just out of Jesus Coke.
What are you talking about?
They could have just been out of Jesus Coke. You load a vending machine. It
Yeah.
was going to sublimate the can right there for
No,
you.
you can print whatever you want on it. You can print whatever you want.
Okay. Next time I'm in New York, I'm gonna go to the M&M store. I'm gonna see if I can write Jesus on the M&Ms.
There you go. That would be cool. But
Where
yeah,
is that Coke machine? That's like a magic Coke machine.
Isn't
what would be cool if you you know what I bet it's because they wouldn't let Jesus be on there because he could turn Coca-Cola into wine.
See, that's why I said I could never be trusted with that power. I would wait until everybody drank the water and then turn it into wine. Ha ha, you drunk.
Oh my God, you would make water punch? Is that what you're doing? Like a spike in the water.
Let me wait till they already drink the water and then go, ha ha, now it's wine. Turn it into Jack Daniels, watch them pass out.
Yeah, and then you gaslight that and you're like, no, you just drank water. Are you okay?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this goes way back even to when they decided what was going to be canonized books in the Bible and shit too. And this has been going on a long time. It's been going on a long time.
The Watchers mate with human women, but also what the Watchers do is they teach women all kinds of forbidden arts, such as warfare, magic, how to make weapons, and also cosmetics. So makeup comes from the evil Watchers who taught women how to make up their faces.
In the book of Enoch, the offspring of the Watchers and mortal women are described as giant warriors called Nephilim.
Nephilim means the fallen ones. And the theory goes that they're called the fallen ones because they were revolting against God. They decided that they wanted to have all the power for themselves.
The Nephilim, these are these grotesque giants. They are neither angels nor people. They are described as monstrous beings, and there were apparently thousands of them that populated the earth. In fact, there were so many of them that at a certain point God had to destroy all of humanity in order to get rid of them.
One of the things that people don't realize is that when God sends the flood during the days of Noah, that in one version of the story is that the reason God decides to destroy the earth is because these Nephilim were on the earth.
Grotesque giants attacking humans, and the giants in turn being destroyed by God in the great flood? Was the book of Enoch purged from the standard biblical texts because it was considered too far-fetched, too outrageous? Or was it because it portrayed God as a compassionate creator, one who forgave rather than punished mankind for its sins?
God is protecting us in the book of Enoch. It is a very different God than the spiteful, wrathful God that we see in the Genesis account. The church derives great benefit from having us be very, very afraid of God and of God wiping us all out if we're not obedient.
Did early Jewish and Christian leaders really omit the story of Enoch from the Bible because they had an agenda? Could it be that they wanted to keep their followers in line by promoting the notion of an angry and vengeful God? Perhaps the answer can be found by studying more forbidden texts.
Yes. Absolutely. You can really quite learn a lot, man. When I read Enoch and I was like, oh, wow, okay, this all makes sense now. I was like, I get it. I understand what's going on.
Yeah, I was thinking too, Saba, in the timeline, as we understand it, as I understand it, I'm fourth grader when it comes to the Bible. I'm like, I try my best, but you had some that survived, the flood. Yeah. Because we had David and Goliath. Is that post flood? Anyone out there just help me out here? So you had some that did survive, and then you have the story of which just keeps coming up, the big redheaded one in Afghanistan, which doesn't go away. That one doesn't go away. So and there's a few stories in South America of the same thing. So they never really were washed away. If we were to explore that territory, reduced in population, perhaps reduced down to very few, but they lived. And if someone wants to help me, they lived so long that there's the possibility that there are maybe still some.
Genesis 6, I believe it is, says that there were giants in the earth in those days, and that they're still here. Basically, what does it say? Do I have my Bible close by? No, it's over in it's in the bookshelf. There were giants in the earth in those days and after, it says. So, what's it really? Yeah, and like you were saying, the Afghanistan, the Kandahar giant, Catalina Island, Patagonia is what you're thinking about down in Argentina.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Patagonia. And it's on the Urbano Monte map. It's called the Region de Gigante, the land of the giants. So that's
which is weird, and that's how you would expect a small population of very giants to behave, is to not make themselves known. Period. Like how many people listening to this broadcast have gone to Patagonia? I haven't.
No,
I have in Afghanistan. Like, and how much time would it take for you to traverse over those lands to actually get a visual on anything? Really, it's hard to climb those things to begin with. Like I've always had a kind of a thing about, like, everyone thinks they know what the world looks like, and it's sort of a cartography thing. We've always had this discussion. So it's like maps are made up by men, and they sort of follow lines, but we really we'll go to a city in South America, but we won't go to like the mountains. Or you go to the Northwest in the United States, but you don't really go off the interstate. And there's 100,000 square miles of shit off the interstate. Who knows what's up there? And everyone's like, "Oh, we got that all figured out. There's no Sasquatch. There's no giants. There's no anything." You don't know fucking shit. You just went to a gas station. You went to a pilot, and you were like, "I was in the Northwest," and it's like nobody's done any of that shit. Most people that live in the Northwest, they probably hike a trail that goes maybe 20 miles if they're the most experienced hiker from their place into the mountains. And then they come back making sure they didn't get eaten by a bear, right?
Don't they have that big trail that runs down from California up to Washington?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
The Appalachian Trail?
No, the Appalachian.
Oh no, what's the other one? Reese,
I hiked the Appalachian Trail.
The
for
Pacific Coast. It's the Pacific Coast.
PT.
Pacific Trail.
Yeah. It goes from California to Washington State, I think. It's huge.
It's all the way down the whole.
Yeah, the whole West Coast.
Then the Appalachian Trail goes all the way from Maine
the other side,
to Georgia.
I am on the top of the Appalachian Mountains, where it comes up the top. So
that must be pretty up there.
In the winter.
I'm at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah, we're at the very top, where it's the northern part of New Hampshire. The White Mountains, I think, is the end of it.
Oh, you're in the north. Wait, what is it? North. No, I know the Northeast, but Northeast Kingdom.
Yeah, White Mountains.
I hiked the Appalachian Trail.
You did? Why?
Well,
just because you wanted to?
Well, no, because I was already up on the Skyline Drive, and I just went over and hiked about 20, 30 feet of it, and then went back over on the road.
You did 20 feet of that trail.
Yeah, he did it. He was there.
Oh, that's fucking fantastic.
I was like,
listen. Well, I worked at that restaurant up there at Skyland, and we'd get the hikers would come in. They'd been out in the woods for weeks, months, and they are pretty damn gamey. I'll tell you that right now. They're pretty gamey. They're glad to get in there and be able to get a shower and shit like that. But they're a bit odoriferous when they come in.
Mount Washington, you can drive up to the top at certain parts of the year, depending on the weather. And me and two of my friends decided to take his Volkswagen Jetta up, which was fine. But coming down, they have specific directions, like don't ride your brakes. You're supposed to put it into a lower gear and just kind of ride it down. And he rode the brakes, and I was sitting in the back, and all I could smell was burning brakes. I said, "Dude, you better pull over because the brakes aren't on." Then all of a sudden, he was like, "Oh shit, oh shit!" They had to drive off like they have these little spots that you can drive off that ramp up so that you can stop the car and not fly off the road.
Says here, Dr. Bass Ackford says that he went from Mount Whitney to Lake Tahoe. I used to work right down there by Mount Whitney in Lone Pine at Gardner's Hardware, right there in downtown Lone Pine. Dr. Bass Ackwards. So you might have come in there for some provisions. Because we sold all that shit, man, to get up,
there's a mountain range in the northwestern part of Massachusetts, too, called the Hoosic Mountains. That's got a huge train tunnel that runs through it. I think it's like 5 miles through the mountain.
Wow. Oh, look, Nicole, I found there's that thing we were talking about with the sun or whatever.
Oh,
not the moon. The moon
Florida
is
one?
above us.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, look at that freak.
That's there. And that's not the sun. That can't be the sun because the sunset is over there.
What the fuck are all those poles in the sky?
Planet. The sunset is over there. Mommy, that's a planet. And the moon is up here.
So that must be a planet. What did
The
you
moon.
say?
The moon is above us.
That must be a what?
That's there. That's there. It's not the moon.
What in the world is it?
Oh.
Now that
Okay,
what I looked at
help me
today
to
was the sun.
understand. It help me to understand that shot. It looked like you had the moon up high, and then you had.
There was a second. That was like the second sun. It was like a sunset that wasn't setting, but the moon was up there. It was as if that was like the snoot of the sun or something like that.
Right.
Do you know what a snoot is? A snoot in photography, it's like a thing that you stick on the light to float. Like there's barn doors, and then there's a grid pattern. But there's something shooting at something. Maybe that's why the whole concept of shooting.
Okay, so there's the sunset.
Right.
It's over that direction. And
Yeah.
then she wheels the camera. It looks like she goes up like that and sees the moon like up above them, I think.
Every 28 days, you can see the moon during the daytime. when the
Is she
sun's
the
away.
only person that saw that?
This is not exclusive, and I want to. There's something else that I wanted to bring up, Sav, and I think it's would be a really interesting topic to move forward. A lot of people, we don't talk to a lot of people in India or the Far East or over there. Raku is regular for them. Our media doesn't talk to their media, therefore our general population doesn't listen to their general population. But like eclipses and everything with Raku is normal overseas. It's normal. The average person doesn't talk to somebody from India or from Indonesia or over there. That's a normal thing for them. I don't know as far as like an additional sun or everything else that this is something that we haven't observed a lot, but Raku is regular in a lot of their places, just like a lot of their places. And if there's any Globers listening to this, I'm sorry, but most of the countries in this place we live in laugh at Americans for believing in the space program. So, like, if you can actually get your arms around that, you might also get your arms around the fact that Raku is part of the natural system that, I'm not signing off on this, but I've understood as Raku is part of the eclipse system. Please chat, go further on that if you want, but the rest of this place laughs at the United States thinking that we went to the moon.
Sure.
So if it sucks for you, if it sucks your nationalism out of you or whatever, just get over it. The rest of the damn place laughs at us because not we, but some people in this place think that we actually landed on that thing.
What if we are on the moon? It's not even Earth.
I don't even. What?
Larry, India landed on the moon. Sav has the video.
Didn't you see?
Oh my God, it was so good. That Atari footage was fucking
Totally
amazing.
Proof. They opened the door and they released the Ganges.
Let me see if I can find that. See if I can find that.
It's 100% real, and Craig's mental health is stable as a rock.
Let me see.
The Russians laugh at us. Most of the people in Far East laugh at us for believing this shit. Forget about Africa. I wouldn't even know. They probably laugh even harder at us. You know, but it's just like it's funny. It's just funny.
They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you.
Africa has some of the best airplane designers and helicopter designers in the world.
Really?
Ooh, look at that footage. Oh man, that thing flew through it.
It looks like a fucking. It's a sidewalk.
People are applauding. Let us all wait to hear from the Secretary Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, Sri S. Somnath.
That was real, and if you think that was faked, you're retarded.
Yep.
Okay. That's who says that? Who says that before?
I just have this tiny little bit of hope that like the whole experiment thing was just like a whole reverse psychology to actually wake people up, to expose them to the lies.
She's an optimist, Sav.
I'm a total optimist.
it's yin and yang. You got to look at it.
Yeah, and you have to have the balance between two. But polarization is a thing.
Where's the top of the building at, man?
I love this one. I saw this one today, so this is fantastic. It's a great exercise in perspective.
Oh, it went behind the curve.
It went behind the curve.
It's the same effect as if you were rising yourself up off the ground in a balloon. Does the same
Absolutely.
thing.
Is that one of those conveyor belts at the airport?
No, it's a building.
No, it's not.
You just mansplained her.
It is not a
You
building.
mansplained her.
That is not a building. I can walk on those aisles.
Listen. Okay, mansplaining.
No, he didn't. No, he just
wait.
dominated, and he was asserting.
Mansplaining. Listen, just so you know.
Now he's mansplaining you.
Mansplaining means man explaining. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
just mansplained that to Alex.
I just mansplaining.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is
That's what women do.
You know what's funny is like I didn't get the meme like in 2015 where the plane was going down into the ocean. I didn't get that meme. I didn't understand what that was because I didn't really even think about it. And then I really got it. It was like, oh, it's a plane going around a curve. It should look like a plane going down to the ocean. That's what it should look like, which is the same thing, which is this building, example that you're doing. And it took me, like, as much as I thought I knew about the world, I was like, that's the dumbest meme I've ever seen. And 6 months later, I was like, oh, it's like that. You never see the belly of a plane at distance. You don't see it going down over anything, right?
It's just getting smaller and going away from you and dropping in your vision.
Yeah.
The sun does the same thing. A car going away from you does the same thing. A person holding a balloon walking away from you does the same thing. If you moved over to where they stopped and then they walked back the direction you came, it would do the same effect going away from you. It's just everything going away.
Yeah, because we live in an enlarger, like a photography enlarger. It's like a lens. It's a whole. I can't talk about.
She likes to talk about the world as an eye, an eyeball.
Well, it's all modeled after the eye. That's where the globe thing comes in because it's modeled from the eye. But
they've hijacked
everything.
your vision.
But the eye modeled the eye. Our eyes modeled the eye. Wouldn't that be like the image of God kind of concept? Like our eye modeled the fake eye that they built to put some frequency or cage over us so that we don't know the actual truth.
Eye in the sky. Yes, that one.
I could read your mind.
Oh, I want to hear that song now. Damn it.
This is
Alan Parsons. He produced Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, the greatest flat Earth concept record of all time.
Yeah.
Good shit. Well, why are they blocking out the sun, y'all? Let's see.
Okay, can you tell me why they're spending so much money to try and block out the sun? Is it really about climate change? And what's the deal with chemtrails?
Chemtrails.
It's not really about climate change. That's the story they use to justify it. The truth is, the sun is doing something they can't control. It's sending waves of energy, solar flares, light codes that are waking people up, activating DNA, breaking illusions. And when people start to really wake up, the systems built on control, fear, and manipulation start to crack. So they spray the skies. They talk about blocking sunlight to cool the planet. But it's not just about temperature. It's about dimming the frequencies that help people remember who they are. Chemtrails aren't just vapor. They're loaded with particles that reflect light and mess with energetic flow. They dull the connection between humans and source, between Earth and her grid. They say it's for protection, but they never say who they're protecting, because it's not you.
Who are they protecting?
Pockets.
Oh, wow. The 13 families?
The power structures built on hierarchy, control, and disconnection. The ones who've shaped history, rewritten truth, and fed off fear for generations. They know that when people reconnect to source, when they feel the sun, the earth, their own soul, those structures collapse. People stop obeying, stop consuming, start remembering. So they protect the illusion, the veil, the matrix, because once too many people see through it, it's game over for them.
Who is they and who is them?
They and them aren't just one group, it's layers. At the top are ancient bloodlines and elite families that have controlled wealth, land, and influence for centuries. Hidden hands behind governments, corporations, and media. They pass power down quietly behind the scenes while making it look like democracy or progress on the surface. Then there are secret societies, some of them keepers of real knowledge, others twisted it for control. They understood vibration, sacred geometry, the sun, the stars, but instead of sharing it, they hid it. And above that, some say it's non-human entities, energies or beings that don't operate the way we do. Not all physical, some are parasitic in nature, feeding off low vibrations like fear, division, and chaos. But not all of them are evil. Some were just born into it. Some believe they're doing the right thing. The real enemy isn't a person, it's the distortion that's infected the system. And the only way to break it is to see it clearly and refuse to feed it. You already are.
There's a lot to unpack on that one, dude. That's a whole episode.
It's a polarization of truth.
Well, as I've said before, they always do these things and they're multifaceted. So they're blocking out the sun for multiple reasons, using dangerous materials that can be used against you later. Okay? I'm going to show you some. Well, not just that. What do these metals do when exposed to microwave radiation?
They cause mosh pits.
Well, if you want to see what happens, just take a piece of tin foil, aluminum foil, and put it in your microwave for a minute. See what happens.
It's fun. You ever put a Hershey Kiss in the microwave with the tin on it?
You will get a hell of a little light show with that. I've got a high-ranking military guy I'll show you here in a minute. Not this guy. This is another one talking about if they're going to put a fucking climate change sticker on my video, then goddamn it, I'm going to earn it. That's all there is to it.
So after somebody sent me this picture in Riverton, Utah, then I started to get a few more that people were sending me around the country. And I'm sure,
I've seen those.
Besides, the heavy metals and whatever other good things for our bodies that they're spraying, and just add a satanic star on top. It's just cherry, the devil star on top of it. I'm sure that's no big deal. And it's not that big of a deal that the acronym of one of the processes that they use with the balloon to put this amazing stuff in the sky is called Satan. It's kind of like my kids. They say, it's not that deep, bruh. I'm their dad, but they're calling me bruh. It's not that deep that the devil's all in the sky. You know what I mean? And in other news, which is totally unrelated to what I'm just talking about, they do not go hand in hand. I just found this video.
This guy right here is a guy called Pedro, who also lives in the mountains of Fundial. He's a bee farmer, and he's telling us that in Portugal alone, there is 40% less bee production just this winter alone. In North America, there is 60% less bee production this winter, right? This is what's the effect of them dimming the sun and trying to put chemicals into the sky. There is bee farmers out here that are having 60% less production. Millions and millions of beehives all over America, all over Europe, gone, diminished by the air. This is what they're doing. This is literally what they're doing to our system, Pedro here has lost 40% of his production just because of the air. Let me know in the comments if you think this is okay for the farmers and the air to be changing and the seasons to be messed with and the rain to be messed with. Like, let me know in the comments if you think this is okay and if you think Pedro should be losing 60% of his bee production this year. Much love, guys. This was just for entertainment, and I'm fictional.
Yeah, man. And I also Jehovah's Daughter that it's also an anti-parasitic nicotine. I got a thing about that too. But let me see if I can find that guy. Where is he?
So have you ever seen those tubes that they put in the water systems that has the fluorescent light in them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it runs the water through it and the fluorescent light kills any of the bacteria.
Yep. Yeah, it's ultraviolet.
I think it's the same thing with us.
Yeah, they do the ultraviolet. Yeah, here's this guy. This now
was revealed the plan of what's going to happen next. So I can't say it, but I'm telling you, I know what's going to happen next. How much metal you have in your body will affect you when this thing happens. It has to do with frequency. Okay, so that I stay safe and I can come back and I stay alive, I want to tell you something. I will give you a hint of what he showed me. It's going to happen, and you have to get rid of these metals in your body. And it could happen tomorrow. It could happen, but they're going to say it's something else. You're going to have to do your own thinking about this. I don't want to get in trouble, but just stick a piece of foil in a microwave and picture that in your body. And now you know the devil's plan.
That's what cilantro
Bottom
does.
line is you got to get this out of your body. Let's mess the devil up. Let's really mess him up.
Yeah, and I was gonna on that one. I saw that one today. So like the simplest description of spraying the skies would be a ton of aluminum over everybody. And
Illuminati. It's the
what's going to happen next.
Illuminati.
So I can't say it.
Well, it's
but I'm
aluminum.
telling you, I know what's going to happen
Barium.
next.
Yeah,
How
and
much
here's the
metal
thing.
you have in your body will affect
Is
you
that still
when
going?
this thing happens.
What the hell happened?
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
has to do
say
with frequency.
Just from a standpoint of experience, what we've done for the last 3 months, we've been up and down the eastern seaboard, and there have been chemtrails every single place we went. Right, so there's a movement to spray shit into the skies.
Illuminati.
It's
It's the Illuminati that illuminate.
okay, but anyway, let's get real here. If it's nanoparticles and it's aluminum, it's fallen on at least every single place we've been to, and then you fire microwave energy into that, and it basically boils you.
Well,
That's what it is.
they're already heating it and steering weather using these
So
technologies.
they could kill 1 million people in one swath by firing basically we already know exists, which is radiological thing, and boil your blood.
This shit gets into the water, and it's taken into the trees. You remember these forest fires that seem to hardly burn any of the forest? The
ones that
they're on-
went all the way across the United States that turned the sky in New York orange when we grew up in Michigan, and never have we ever seen a wildfire like that went to Michigan. I'm sorry, like that was bullshit.
No, I'm talking about the ones where we saw trees that were burning from the inside out.
Yeah.
That's microwave.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So where did the metal come in? It's in the water that it was uptaking in the roots, into the wood, into the interior of those trees.
Is there iron in sap?
It doesn't need to be iron. It's aluminum.
Aluminum.
Spraying aluminum and barium.
Right.
BA and AL. Ball.
Yeah. Aluminum. Yes. But I'm just because there's iron in blood, right?
Yeah, you have to have iron.
So cilantro, the herb, it is also It's a metal detox. Metal detoxes the metals from the system. Heavy metal from your system. Every time I eat it, I die. Literally, I think that I die.
Wow.
It
Tastes like
kills.
tastes like soap to me.
Tastes like soap. Blows up. It like closes my throat. It like bloats my stomach. And
Here's what's weird. I can actually eat cilantro and it's fine for me.
he doesn't even know what it tastes like. I'm like, is there cilantro on that? He's like,
I know what it tastes like, but like I can eat it, but like some people can't.
no, I literally cannot eat it. Like I die. So do I have metal in my system or do I not have metal in my system?
I don't know. Maybe you're some kind of weird vampire and that's your garlic. I don't know.
It's possible. I actually, you know what? I confessed earlier on Tinfoil Sombrero that to Alex that I actually am a robot.
All right. I can go with that.
Okay.
I can go with that.
She's gonna work that for a while. We'll see how long that goes.
She's been two-timing you with the self-checkout down there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. I saw a meme the other day about self-checkout. It was like, hey, self-checkout is available. And he's like, I don't work here, bitch. And I was like, oh my God.
Should be getting a discount if you're checking yourself.
I just want to see a robot doing self-checkout. I just feel like that would be kind of funny.
Oh my God, it'd be a kind of an Ouroboros type thing.
Right? You would just be like, what?
The first time I seen that, I said, "Oh, next thing you know," I said to the girl who was standing there, I said, "They're going to be replacing you with a Japanese robot. It's going to give you a life tax." She just laughed.
Okay, if I don't even want to bring up the robot thing.
Barbara brought up the thing about nicotine, and that was wild because I just run across this. This is interesting.
Nicotine pouches are all the rave. You're seeing RFK popping them, Tucker Carlson talking about them. What is going on with nicotine that the public doesn't know?
Nicotine is not addictive. Parkinson's disease can be prevented and can be cured and its symptoms reversed with nicotine alone. Nicotine is known to medical science to be a curative agent and a preventative agent for Alzheimer's. Did you know that nicotine also can cure the symptoms of hypothyroidism?
I have Hashimoto's.
You should be on nicotine.
You would be okay putting a nicotine patch on a kid?
Yeah. Are potatoes and french fries dangerous?
Now, see, critics say that you are spreading dangerous misinformation when you talk about this stuff.
It is very dangerous for big pharma. There's one nutrient called nicotine in tobacco products. There are 15 man-made addictive chemicals called pyrazines in every single one of them. Tobacco is the highest containing nicotine plant on earth. The second highest are all your nightshade vegetables, eggplant, tomatoes, white potatoes, cauliflower, celery, bell peppers. Glioblastomas were proven in 2021 to be cured by nicotine alone. There is no more important message or video that should be seen than this one for the whole world. It could single-handedly protect all of humanity.
This episode might get me in some major trouble.
You know, and I have to go along, and I think that what we're finding out is a lot of these things that are ailments are parasitic in nature. And I know that nicotine, did you know nicotine is a chief ingredient in a lot of pesticides?
I didn't know that.
Did you know that you can't spell nicotine without Nico?
Okay. I want to say this about if you look back at the history of advertising and propaganda, why were so many companies interested in getting people to quit smoking over the course of 50 years? Like, why did they care? Like, was there profit in it? Like, why did they want us to quit?
Because they spun it, and because
it
actually keeps you alive longer.
I know people in Germany that have been smoking. They're 99 years old. They've been smoking their whole life. What like not that the cigarettes they're kind of gross, but I like smoking them. You know, but it's like why the effort to get people to stop smoking over the course of 50 years? Why? Unless there is a problem with the profit side of the other, which is like, the whole bendazole thing, which is like basically probably the greatest anti-parasite drug ever. None of us ever heard of it. And you like then you have these cancer doctors like, well, it looks like the most of this cancer is parasite based, and they're laying eggs in your cells, and cancer isn't what they say it is. It's just parasites.
Oh wait, hold on.
All right, so I heard somebody talking about that too, and it made kind of some sense to me because it's like, oh, we found this tumor. Okay, so we're going to go in and do a biopsy, which means they cut it open. And from what I understand, that tumor is actually your body encapsulating and protecting you from that parasite. And once they bust it open, then they released it into your fucking system.
Gets
And
worse.
then the cancer spread.
It's worse, right?
Oh, they tested the biopsy and the cancer spread, and now you
Fucking
have
inversion.
bone cancer.
Ah!
You have 2 months to live. But that just happened to my aunt.
So
Like,
I'm not looking. None of us are medical experts or anything else like that. But I mean,
no.
You know, all this time, you mean to tell me that they're just now figuring this shit out? I mean, isn't it funny that they've had the American Cancer Society has been in existence for many, 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 many years.
Society.
And the amount of cancer has gone up. Yep. What the hell? Are they actually, is that another part of that inversion? Where they're
it's inversion.
Yeah, no, it is.
They're supposed to be the people looking for how to, you assume that their role is to try to find out how to eliminate it. And actually it's the American Cancer Society. They're trying to propagate cancer.
Yeah, to everybody else.
Theory, you know,
it's a lot of money to be made from that.
Oh
Jerry Lewis did a lot of telethons and never stopped muscular dystrophy.
No. And when he found out that there was actually a cure for it and that they knew about it and they wouldn't let him promote it, that's why he stopped doing it. That's the reason why he stopped doing it.
There's a lot of money to be made from.
Listen, this is the
cancer.
thing right here. Listen to this guy. This will tie it right in.
I actually had tested Roundup and Roundup Plus from Home Depot. I took it to a lab and I wanted to know, is there any venoms in any of these? 7 venoms from different snakes and cone snails are in Roundup. Roundup Plus had 11. They are using venoms all over the world. As you eat the venom, you're going to develop cancer. Why?
Yeah, think about this. Why are there snakes on the thing at the hospital? Right?
Do you know, and I was yesterday years old when I learned this, that sheep's blood is the antidote to venom.
Oh, wow.
And it has a whole entire biblical thing. So the Lamb of God is literally the blocker that saves you from
the snake.
The snake.
Of the serpent. Wow.
Glyphosate either is synthetic venom. If you want to be conspiratorial, go ahead. Monsanto owns, in their own claims, look it up. They have on the research studies, Monsanto owns the largest patent library of venoms used as insecticides. Go ahead, wrap your head around this. Why would they be studying so much venom and own patents on venom and then sell Monsanto's glyphosate to the whole world and never tell you that it's actually synthetic venom? Go to madeinchina.com and in the search engine, type snake venom peptides. You're going to see over 1,000 manufacturers around the world who make lyophilized white fine powder of snake venom to add to cosmetics that you put on your face and on your body. You'll see thousands of them, but they sell them as the powder to be added to whatever you're manufacturing. This is a massive big deal. And then Venom Tech in the United Kingdom stated in April of 2022 that they are the largest manufacturer in the world of snake venom peptides, and they now have nano carrier technology to wrap around their snake venom peptides that allow them to deliver venom through water delivery systems. Their words, not mine. You can just put drops of it into your water and just drink it. How do you know they can't do that in your water delivery systems?
Ozempic has a black box warning that within 12 months of use, it increases your risk for every form of medullary thyroid cancer. Oncologists around the world who are getting new diagnosed cancer patients, if they're on Ozempic and Wegovy, 100% of them are developing breast cancer in less than a year using Ozempic and Wegovy. People magazine last week reported that there's thousands of Americans who are reporting eye-rotting diseases being on Ozempic and Wegovy. Their eyes are literally rotting in their orbits of their skull. Do you know what Ozempic and Wegovy is made of?
No.
It's a venom protein from the Gila monster lizard. The forked tongue of this lizard is what they use to make Ozempic. The Smithsonian Institute was interviewed and they were asked, how deadly is Gila monster lizard venom? And do you know what Smithsonian reported to CNN? Gila monster venom is actually more deadly and more toxic than a Western diamondback rattlesnake. It's venom to humans. All right, everybody, ask your doctor if Gila monster venom is right for you. And then I'd like to ask you, anybody taking Ozempic and Wegovy, I'd like to ask you, do you believe you're overweight? Do you believe you're diabetic? And do you believe you have heart disease because you're Gila monster venom deficient?
Cats. Hate them. Do you know what a cat's eye looks like?
I don't want to know.
Like a slit or a vertical
soft diamond.
Do you know what other animals have eyes like that? Reptiles.
Lizards.
Do you think lions and tigers have eyes like cats?
No.
Nope.
They don't. It's just interesting that cats, they come from
I told
the
you this.
cat family.
Yeah, feline.
But they're the only mammal that have eyes like that. Lions don't, tigers don't, panthers don't. All the other cats have circle pupils.
Do they know why?
There's one guy I was talking about, maybe some weird genetic crossbreeding back in like the Egyptian days.
Yeah.
What was weird, my mom told us this the other day, to keep gators off your land, you get an outdoor cat because gators are afraid of cats.
Really? Isn't that weird?
Yeah. But also cats hiss like snakes.
They do. Yeah.
Nicotine is a published cure for Parkinson's disease, MS, Alzheimer's, ulcerative colitis, all arthritises, all of them. Psoriatic, gout, osteo, rheumatoid. Did you know it's also a published cure? I already mentioned it, myocarditis. Did you know that during 2021, while we were all locked down at home during COVID-19, that our government in the United States was paying researchers to investigate 2 of the 36 poisons that were found in all COVID patients, and they injected them into mammals and created within 72 hours glioblastoma tumors.
Right.
And then they were paid by our government to see if they could reverse glioblastoma tumor formation that they created in 3 days or less. And do you know what they dissolved within 72 hours glioblastoma tumors with? Nicotine.
Bodies.
And what?
So I'm about to teach something else you may not know.
Sure, I'm open.
So I just mentioned a whole bunch of medical conditions that are improved with nicotine or prevented or cured and published to do so. Did you know that autism traits?
Yeah.
They've already investigated nicotine patches between the shoulder blades of all children and adults, and within 7 days they see improvements in all their symptoms.
Nicotine is not addictive, and nicotine is this substance created by nature that has all these other different abilities to cure different things. Who would have thunk? You always think smokers are addicted to nicotine. It's not addictive. How do I know that? Because I'm wearing a nicotine patch here on another one. The group in Spain called Quinta Columna, it means the 5th column in Spanish, they're doing under the microscope, looking at the vax and looking at other substances. Just 2 months ago, I saw this video by them where they injected distilled water and nicotine, and they had one of these structures, very symmetrical nanobot particles that have self-combined, and it dissolved it. And I'm showing some early results that nicotine might be the cure for mortality.
A lot of people have really big misconceptions about tobacco. We, generally speaking, we hold a lot of programs and stories and narratives that have been fed to us about tobacco. We have really villainized tobacco, just like we did with cannabis. And the truth is totally the opposite. Tobacco is a master healer. And so one of the gifts that the Spirit brings is deep grounding, deep presence in the body. You don't know how ungrounded you are until you become so grounded. And then you realize that you've been walking around in a haze all this time, in a fog. And Hape really helps to just pierce that fog and bring you back into your body.
I hated
So
being
smoke 'em if you got 'em.
I hated being grounded growing up. And
Oh,
then
I did too.
oh my God. And then I went into like a whole healing thing and they're like, you're just not grounded. And I'm like, yeah, because I spent my whole entire childhood.
Uncle Sav, I'm gonna go get off.
We're gonna go.
We're gonna get off. Love you. We're keep listening, but you guys keep going. Love you.
Yeah,
Bye.
I'm only going to go about another 10 minutes anyways because I got to get up for work in the morning. But
Work
did you
it.
guys
Word.
see where they had Paris was like on fire last night?
Again? Yeah, I saw a bunch of like dead robots.
Parisians.
Well, Paris burned last night as immigrants used a football match to rise up. The death toll rises. 2 dead, 500 arrested, 400 cars torched. More trouble expected today. This was
I love Paris. I love Paris.
I don't love Paris.
I don't.
I'm
I
done
hate
with it.
Yeah, but Parisian people, they're like, you know what? You're not doing what we want. We're gonna burn the shit down.
You got
And
on
then
for
the
that.
Paris people get what
Not
they
the
want.
Parisians. It's not the Parisians. It's African immigrants.
No, Paris has done that forever.
No, Parisians
No.
just burn their city down over and over again.
Last night, it was African immigrants.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get off.
Okay, love you guys.
Allez, partez! On s'en bat les couilles, nous, on paye pas ça!
Familiar? Oh, just said somebody.
Jesus. Like, where was that place where that Kyle, what's his nuts, shot their
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse, yeah.
Yeah, was that what was that? Michigan or Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, yeah. That's what I was trying to remember.
You were talking about the tobacco thing. I wanted to tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
Go. A friend of mine, I haven't talked to him in a long time. His wife was from Brazil. Her brother-in-law came to stay from Brazil. And my friend Mike said, hey, he's asking you if you want a cigarette. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'm thinking he's going to take a box out and hand me a cigarette. And he took this pouch out, and there was a twisted brown stick. He took a pocket. He took a piece out of the pouch. He took a piece of corn paper. It literally looked like a piece of, like if you ripped the rib off of a piece of corn. And he took the paper and put it on the table and sat there he took a knife out and he chipped all little pieces off the little stick. And it was 100% pure tobacco from Brazil. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, no nothing. I mean, no filter, no nothing. He just rolled that thing in corn paper and rolled it up and handed it to me and said, here you go, here's a cigarette. And I smoked that thing. I probably took 3 drags out of that thing. And it made me the most lightheaded I have ever been. Like the strongest. I mean, it's tobacco. It's definitely tobacco. And one other time I went to a cigarette machine in a bar and I pulled a lever that didn't have a label on it. And out came this weird pack of Russian cigarettes that was in a cardboard tube. It was literally a cardboard tube.
Oh, wow.
Lit the end of it. And it was almost the identical thing. It was so strong that if you took one big drag out of it, you get all weird, lightheaded. You know, because it's real tobacco. It doesn't have all the stuff that makes it sweet and mild and light or menthol, you know. And I just, when you were saying, you know, about nicotine, I was thinking, oh, yeah. Like, I remember him giving me that. So I couldn't smoke the whole thing. I had to smoke a quarter of it because that's all I could tolerate. It was so strong. The name of the cigarettes out of the machine were called Belmore Canal, if you look them up. And it's in this really weird box. And I just said, let me pull it and see what happens. And that's what came out. And I was like, what the hell are these? What's up, Andrew?
And there was what's happening, Andrew? We also had some guy threw some Molotov cocktails, I guess, at a pro-Israel rally or some shit like that they were having. And this guy, I think it's a false flag type thing. myself, just because of the narrative that's involved with it.
Yeah.
You know, trying to make it look like it was an Islamist and all this
Yeah.
other, you know, like, no.
Yeah, they'll start doing the anti-Semitism thing now.
Yeah.
So we got to stop this.
Most people have no idea what a Semite even is.
Yeah, I know.
Even Jews.
Descendant of Shem. They're descendants of Shem, so that would apply to all the people in that region that are native to it.
Correct. Yeah, it's a huge region. But
Mhm.
when it comes to tobacco and cigarettes, I smoked for roughly 20 years. My brand of cigarette were the Camel Lights, then they changed them to Camel Blues later on. And one day I had this heart situation to the point where I thought I was having a heart attack. The only time I've ever called 911. And yeah, ambulance came and picked me up, rushed me to the hospital. And the first thing they asked me was, oh, do you drink? Do you smoke? That kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Blood pressure, blood samples, urine samples, and the works. And the doctor said, yeah, your blood pressure is like really, really high, along with your heart rate and things like that. I quit cold turkey that day. And I'm not really sure what exactly was causing that, but I will say for certain that when I quit smoking cigarettes, that went away. So
It's all the filler stuff that they put into the cigarettes. That's what it is.
Right.
The tobacco, I think just huffing on tobacco like they do shisha. If you know what shisha is, where they put the jelly into the bin and they heat it up and they put a piece of foil over it, and it's like it smolders. That's kind of what real tobacco does. It doesn't really burn like a cigarette does. How it kind of control burns. Like I said, when I smoked that cigarette, it wasn't like any cigarette I've ever had in my life.
Right.
It was 100% real tobacco. It smoldered.
Right, and then there's other things about tobacco, such as my grandmother, who passed away when she was 91, I believe, and she smoked about a half a pack of cigarettes for a very, very long time, probably 60 years. She did not die of lung cancer, throat cancer, or anything like that. She died of an iron deficiency because she just didn't like taking her iron pills that were prescribed by the doctor.
They make it so I can't poop.
Well, I don't know, something like that.
It is. It will. If you
too much iron will.
If you take too much iron, you'll get constipated.
I don't know. I'm just saying that the history of it. But then there's another guy who everyone probably is aware of, named David Avocado Wolf. Well, avocado is like a slang term for him, and yeah, he says he grows his own tobacco, and he says, yeah, it can actually have beneficial things for people, and it's not addictive. Nicotine is not addictive, even though chemistry books will say it is, only because of all the additives they put into it.
Yes.
That's the addictive part.
It's used as kind of a disinfectant, like sage as well. Same type of properties involved. Even for the cleansing of evil, nicotine was used as well as sage.
Sage, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the song where they mentioned Rosemary and Thyme?
Oh, Scarborough Fair.
Yeah, Scarborough Fair. Don't those also have kind of properties to them that if they just burned around you?
Yep.
Yeah,
They keep the smell down.
Yep.
Yep. Check that. You guys want to see before we go off here? I want to show you all this great. I never saw anything like this.
One last question before you do that. How much are you guys spending on cigarettes right now, like per pack?
I don't smoke cigarettes anymore.
Oh, okay.
I quit.
Right now it's like $12 a pack.
Yeah,
they're $10 up here.
I'm paying $8.
Yeah, I couldn't afford to smoke if I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm saving money. So, anyways,
if I'm smoking one a day,
I have an OnlyFans page. That's how I support.
Oh, you too?
You just sit there and smoke.
Wow. All right.
It's a smoking page. Watch me smoke.
No, all it is It's a close up of me rubbing oil on my nipple. That's all you
They show your toe.
Yeah, no facial, just the nipple.
No. You have to put one of those porn blocks up over the eyes. Remember those black square?
No, you beat me to it.
But check this out. This is crazy. I never saw a backhoe this size. Look at this thing.
Yeah, that's like an earth mover kind of size.
Dude.
Look at it.
I showed that to the wife. She says, what in the fuck would they dig with that? And I said, anything they want.
Yeah,
one scoop. There's your swimming pool.
Yep.
Holy shit, that's huge.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's what
Look
she
at
said, right?
They probably use that for mining or something when they pull out material and stuff.
Yeah, it's got a freaking ladder going up into it.
It's like 3 stories tall.
Like a fucking crane.
More.
Wow.
If he's 6 feet. That's crazy. I've seen those big mover trucks, the ones that have the where you have to climb up like 4 ladders to get into it to drive it.
To Komatsu.
That's like probably a $10 million piece of equipment.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
Maybe more.
Probably more. I can't even fathom.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that sucker in operation. That's what I'd like. It would probably scare the shit out of me just to even watch that thing work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that ladder is another of him standing on his own head. That's 12 feet.
That's
Just
crazy.
The platform of it is 12
So now
feet.
imagine that thing doing. Let me see. Where is that? I gotta find it. This was some of the most amazing bucket work I've ever seen in my life. Let me see. I gotta find.
I got to go in one of those high cranes, the ones they put on the side of buildings.
Yeah,
I had one on a bridge, and I went on one on a bridge where they were cutting out chunks of this old bridge, taking the chunks out and then moving them over to a piece of land. Taking the thing and turning it, and then dumping them into this area where they didn't have anything on it, and they were cutting it up and putting it on trucks, on flatbeds, on tractor trailers. And I got to climb up that thing, and just climbing up it scared the shit out of me. Never mind getting up there. I mean, never mind being up there, because you could feel that thing wavering around, creaking and rattling.
Here's some bucket work for you. Watch this.
You don't need one there. That's a pro right there.
Dude, that guy's skilled.
That's a pro.
That's
Well,
a 100%.
have you guys seen those videos of the guys that are able to take pieces of equipment and like different pieces of equipment and actually load them back into the truck without having to have a lift?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy how they figured out how to do that. It's pretty cool.
I bet you that guy could do that. If that guy unloading that right there, he could go ahead and get back on the truck just as good as he got off it. Every bit. But yeah, those little, but you ever see those, they call them a spider? And they're usually like, if you have something delivered by Home Depot, it's like mounted up on the back.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. And all they do is they get in it, and the forks are stuck in, right? They're locked into the back of the truck. And then the guy gets into the cab of that thing that's sticking off the back, and he lowers himself down to the ground, and then he can pull out and then pick up his load off of the trailer. And then he goes and stores it back the exact same way. He puts his forks into these holes in the back of the truck and then just lifts the unit up so that it's locks into place, and then he takes off. Pretty slick, man. Pretty slick. Did you see, you didn't see this, Andrew? This is pretty good. I'm going to show this again real quick before we go. Oh, he already left. Damn it.
I'm still
going to show it again. I love this. This is great. Where did the top of the building go? Oh, it went behind the curve.
Yep. When you walk away, you're rising. Horizontal and vertical do the same things, has the same effect. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry, I accidentally hit the leave button, I guess. I don't know. Something like that.
But isn't that slick how they did that? Look at this. Where'd the top of the building go? did the same thing vertically as to what they're claiming is happening horizontally. They're saying, "Oh, it's a curve." Well, is there a curve to that building? Where is it? See?
Wow.
That's the effect you get when you're rising up off the ground.
Yep.
That's the effect. Except he's just walking away from the building.
Yep.
Optics are a motherfucker.
Same thing, different direction. That's all.
Yep.
Then here he goes, walks back to the building.
Yep. Now you're lowering yourself to ground level. And notice that the lines are actually touching each other as he angles down. The lines start to interject, even though they're not. The two tracks are not touching each other.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to call it a night. I'm 5 minutes over time here now, so gotta work in the morning.
Me too. So, hey, Dave, thanks for having me on. Everyone else, cheers.
Yeah, man.
Good to see you, Andrew.
Thanks for coming up, everybody. Party Poet, even though you didn't say anything all night. How are you doing? Just here. All right, then. And D-Man, thanks for coming. It's always good to have you up here. Everybody who showed up out here in the chat, hope everybody had a good time. We'll leave with our closing statement. As we always like to say, don't forget the Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of him because he'll probably kill you. And if you heard the shot, it probably wasn't meant for you. We'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Good night, everybody.
Cheers.
Hey, how all you glow-tards doing? Just wanted to check in from how you were doing when you all learned about me when you were just little wee little ones, and you were too stupid to question anything, and just wanted to check in to make sure you still believed in me. You still believe in me, right? You better still believe in me, because if you don't, I'm gonna call you names, like you still live in your mama's basement, and you better not breed. That's okay. I know you still believe in me.